Casey DeSmith and Eric Shulgren, the goaltenders in this one tonight, as Justin Hull will chase after the puck in his own zone to the right of Shulgren, and Mark Giordano's on it. Giordano bumped by Rickard Rakell. Boy, he's been a good addition for the Pittsburgh Penguins on that top line with Crosby and Gensel. Now it's carried in by the Leafs on the wing. Centering pass in front, just out of the reach of Yarncroke. It'll come back to center, and Austin Matthews is on it. Slides it up ahead. Here's Marner. In alone left side to the net. Great play. He scores! How about that move by Mitch Marner? Make that point streak 16 games, and Marner's got the opening goal to make it 1-0. 40 seconds into the game.
Sidney Crosby is losing it on the Pittsburgh bench. This is a horrible line change by the Penguins. And even though Matthews and Marner have been broken up, they're out on the ice together, and Matthews finds Marner wide open on the left wing side. And Marner darts in from the point. Fake shot, then goes backhand, forehand, and around the left pad of Casey DeSmith to give the Leafs the early lead. And the point streak for Mitch Marner continues.
That's 5 goals and 21 points in a stretch of 16 games for Marner as he gets number 6 on the year.
Now that's just 2 games away now from tying a franchise record.
And now the puck is picked up by Ryan Poehling in the Leaf zone. Flip down to the corner. Teddy Bluger is on it. He'll circle, throws it out front. It's off the stick of Matthews. Held in at the line by Pierre-Olivier Joseph. Flip towards the net. Shulgren will knock it down. He'll slide out of the crease and cover it up.
Well, the Pittsburgh Penguins, since losing at home 5-2 to the Leafs, rattled off 5 straight wins. And this is rare. It's just 2 weeks and 1 day that the Leafs and the Penguins play each other 3 times. Especially when you consider the Leafs haven't played division rivals, Florida, or even Tampa yet, when you start going through the list.
Leafs are 24-3-4 since the start of last season when Marner scores a goal. So a good start boding well. Face off to the right of Shulgren. Camp lost the draw to Malkin. Puck dumped down to the side of the net, picked up by Mac Hollowell, and he'll skate it out on the right wing for Toronto. Got it up to center for Zach Aston-Reese, who bats it into the Penguin zone. Brian Dumoulin goes after the puck. Dumoulin knocks it around for Rust, and Rust will clear it out where it's batted away by Victor Mete, but he knocked it down with his hand, and that will be a hand pass against Toronto.
I got a question for you as we start this game in Pittsburgh. You could name the 3 players that have played the longest together on the same team. And I'll give you the number of years. It's 17 years. I better check that. 17 years, I believe.
We've discussed 17 years is a long time. Are they in this game by chance?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
I'm still going to make you sad. Two of them have been Leaf killers for sure, but yes, all part of the 3 Stanley Cups the Penguins have had in that period of time.
Here's Danton Heinen at center. He'll bring it in over the Leaf line on the right side. Heinen down into the corner. Watched by Giordano with a backhand pass that got through the slot. Picked up on the left wing by Dumoulin. He'll put it behind the Leaf net, but Justin Hall cuts it off. And Toronto's got it as Mark Giordano will lift it out at center. And over the head of Pierre Engvall, and it's a delayed offside. So has to try and shake off Rickard Rakell. Now Lindgren stops in the right corner, puts the puck back in the goal, comes around for Rasmus Sandin. He'll clear it up the wing, but it's knocked down by the Penguins. Now kicked out by Marner to center. And Marner tried to poke it through Marcus Pettersson at the Penguins line, but it's pushed back out. Marner's got it back. In on the left side, throws it into the slot, bounces on net. And Casey DeSmith will make the stop, and the Penguins clear it. And this will end up being an icing call against Pittsburgh with 2:46 gone in the first and a 1-0 Toronto lead.
This will give the winning team the edge in the season series as the Penguins won in Toronto. And then, as we said, the Leafs come back and win 5-2. Michael Bunting had a couple of goals. Michael Bunting, all 4 of his goals this season have been on the road, including half of them in the game against the Pittsburgh.
It is Victor Mete tried to send it in front. It skips wide, and Austin Matthews will take it back to center. Sidney Crosby has gone to the Penguins dressing room. We'll keep an eye on that as he has left the bench.
Now, we were wondering maybe he was upset with the line change. Now we're thinking maybe it's something else, injury related, that had him upset.
Well, he only played the 2 shifts. He's been out for a minute 9 of the game. Here's Nylander in on the right side. Circles, And then lost the puck, and it's picked up at center. Jason Zucker on it. Down the left wing. Mete holds him back. He goes to the net. Penalty coming up here. It'll be a holding call against Victor Mete, and the Penguins will get the first power play of the game.
And that's something you don't like to see early in the game. The 5-6 defense getting caught. As actually Hollowell wasn't even in the picture. It was Willie Nylander that came back. Mete had given chase, and the last second decides, okay, I got to put the clamp on and keep Zucker from getting to the front of the net. And I think it was very close to being a penalty shot.
About another step or two, I think, for Zucker, and it would have been.
Yep. The Penguins down the last 4 games coming into this one, 0 for 10 on the power play. They've only scored 12 all year. They had 4 in the first 2 games of the season.
Unusual for the team that has now won 5 straight and put themselves back in the playoff picture. As Letang will hand it off for Malkin. Back to Letang across to the left side. And Jeff Petrie is steered aside by the blocker of Källgren. Puck comes free in the slot. Malkin's got it. Dropped it back to the left point. Jeff Petrie onto the half boards for Malkin. Trying to go back to the point. Broken up by Marner. He'll take it around behind the Leaf net. Hits the brakes to get away from Rust. He'll hand it off for Justin Hall. And Hall will send it all the way down the ice. To Smith. Leaves it for Letang. He'll circle his own net and come back up ice. 1:21 to go in the power play. Rust tipped it to the corner. Giordano goes after it for Toronto. 4 of them fight for it here to the right of Källgren. Hall has it jammed up there. Rust trying to dig it free. Hall comes up with it, and he'll ice it again right on Casey DeSmith, and he's forced to wait and have the troops regroup for Pittsburgh.
Last 9 games for the Leafs, they've killed off 20 of 24 times short, including where they 1 for 2 against the Minnesota Wild yesterday.
Danton Heinen up onto the right side as Petrie will lift it in. Liljegren's got it back in the net. Played it around the boards. Kept in at the left point by Jeff Carter. He'll hand it off now for Rickard Rakell. Being watched by Hollowell. Back to the point. Carter fires, and it's blocked. Kemp is after it. He'll knock it off the boards and out. A race for it back in the Pittsburgh zone. Carter gets in front of Zach Aston-Reese, former Penguin himself. And circling the net with it is Petrie with under half a minute to go in the Penguins' power play. Danton Heinen up the middle onto the right side for Carter. Down into the Leaf zone. Try to feed it in front. Went off the skate of Heinen. Rolls to the left half boards. Rakell goes to the point for Joseph. Now back for Rakell. Try to throw it towards the net. It's blocked. Hall clears it in the air. Knocked down by the stick at the line by Joseph. Now Engvall grabs it at center. He'll carry it into the Penguin zone, but it is knocked away off a stick by Pierre-Olivier Joseph. Power play comes to an end. Pittsburgh manages 1 shot. But it is a 1-0 Maple Leafs lead on the goal by Marner 40 seconds into the contest. Here's Bluger in front alone. Zucker backhand. Save made by Källgren with the left pad. Jason Zucker got in alone and had a great chance, but Källgren stuck with him. Now on the left half boards. It is the Penguins' Josh Archibald trying to feed it back in the net. Bumps into Austin Matthews. Hollowell's got it. He'll lift it high in the air and clear it to center. Teddy Bluger brings it right back in. Dropped it out for Ryan Poehling. Trying to kick it up to a stick. Goes to the point for Dumoulin. Across for Jan Ruda on the right side. He'll fire it down low. Poehling on it back in the net. Ryan Poehling tried to get it up for Dumoulin. Good stick by William Nylander to break it up, and he'll clear it all the way back down the ice.
Little waist-high backhanded slash in the midair that Nylander was able to get that puck out.
There's Dumoulin in his own blue line. He'll turn back. Penguins making a change, so he'll wait and let them finish. Now Jan Ruda with it. Ruda gets to the red line. He'll play it into the Leaf zone. Victor Mete goes after it in the corner. He'll flip it by Rakell. Got a piece of it with his stick. Gensel trying to come up with it. Gensel after it on the half boards, but it's swiped away. And now it's Rasmus Sandin that's got it. He'll take his time with it inside his own line and clear it to center. Marner lifts it into the Pittsburgh zone, and Carter's there to poke it off to the corner for Letang. He'll swing it behind his own net. Here's Pettersson back for Letang as the Penguins break out. Letang up through center. Can't get the puck onto the stick of Malkin. Letang will force it back, and Pettersson there again will feed it up for Malkin. Back to Pettersson. Drops it off inside his own line. Malkin grabs it. Builds speed through center. Gets into the Leaf zone. Malkin left it for Rust. High shot up the shoulder. Källgren rebound. Oh, what a chance for Jason Zucker, and he ripped it over the net. And he looked to the rafters. He knew he missed a glorious opportunity.
Boy, maybe the Leafs give Malkin a little too much respect. A 1-on-5, everybody collapses in front of Källgren.
Rust hands it off for Zucker at the blue line. Got caught up in the skates of Kerfoot. He's able to kick it to center. That'll force Pittsburgh back. Jeff Petrie on it inside his own line. 7:50 gone here in the opening period. Shots even at 4-piece. It's a 1-0 Maple Leafs lead. Källgren out of the net, playing the puck, went off the skate of Blueger in the corner, came in front of the open goal. Nobody in a black sweater there to get a stick on it, though. And now it's picked up at center and brought in by Dennis Malgin. Malgin around the Pittsburgh net with it, throws it in front. He had Camp parked on top of the blue paint. Liljegren in from the point, snaps it on goal. The Smith blocks it. Rebound picked up by Zach Aston Reese. He'll go to the left half boards with it, dumps it back off behind the Pittsburgh net. Joseph is there. Hop onto the wing. That is off a stick and comes to center. Penguins on the attack with a 3-on-2. Here comes Brock McGinn. Across for Blueger on the right side, and he missed the net. Blueger after the puck again. He's got it on the right half boards. Being checked by Rasmus Sandin. Malgin will find the puck. He'll slide it back for Liljegren. And the Leafs will take their time with it as Liljegren retreats back at his own net. Now up the middle. Here's Nylander onto the wing for Austin Matthews, cutting into the slot. Gave it away for Bunting. He'll take it to the right corner. Swings it up to the point. And then missing it at the point was Hollowell. And it's a break for Jeff Carter down the left side with a snapshot. And he had Victor Mete chasing him. He only had the one play, and he missed on the glove side. Here's Hollowell leading it back into the Penguin zone with Nylander following up. Matthews comes in. It's jammed on net. Casey DeSmith got a piece of it. Nylander tried to play it back in front. That went off of Bunting into the corner. Jake Gensel pokes it by Matthews. Carter's got it. Try to go up the boards with it. He'll get it across for Gensel. And Jake Gensel will gain the red line and dump it in the Leaf zone. Gone a while here without a whistle. Leafs on it in their own zone. But it's turned over. Rust will hand it off for Malkin. Dropped it right side. Zucker in the slot. Tried to feed it back across for Rust. Turned over, and here comes Marner through center. He's got Järnkrok going to net. Pass across, and it's off the stick of Järnkrok. Couldn't settle it down, and the Penguins will clear it to center.
Well, Järnkrok there tried to get it back to the front of the net, Bartz. I think that's that little hesitation in handling the puck probably cost him a scoring opportunity.
Giordano bobbled it at the blue line as it came out and back in, and that ends up being an offside against Toronto. A Mitch Marner goal 40 seconds into the game has the Leafs out front 1-0 in Pittsburgh as we're at the midway mark of the opening period.
JVS Toronto will help you get the right job. Together with JVS Toronto employment experts, you'll explore new job options, create a strong resume, build an appealing online profile, prepare for job interviews, and connect with employers, all for free. Your job is waiting for you. JVS Toronto will help you find it. Get started today. For more information, visit jvstoronto.org.
Some things leave you guessing. Like, why are yawns so contagious? But you know who doesn't leave you guessing? MailChimp. MailChimp analyzes data from billions of emails to offer up personalized recommendations for how to improve things like your email content and audience targeting. Guess less and sell more with the #1 email marketing and automation brand, Intuit MailChimp. Based on competitor brands' publicly available data on worldwide numbers.
Holiday shopping is done. You should totally check it out.
Score with Pizzaville. Order Morgan Riley's favorite, the Riley Big Pickup Special. 18-inch extra large 3-topping pizza, only $19.99. For pickup, dial pound 3636 from your cell or online at pizzaville.ca.
Get loud for the Leafs.
Holy mackerel! What a shot!
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
1-0 Maple Leafs leading the Penguins midway through the first here in Pittsburgh. We didn't get back to your trivia answer, Mr.
Three
Ralph.
players
Go
that
ahead,
played the
Ralph.
longest together in the same team. 17 years for Chris Letang, Sidney Crosby, and Evgeny Malkin. It almost ended over the summer. Both Malkin and Letang were free agents. They both signed similar deals. Malkin for 4 years, though, and Letang for 6.
Zach Aston Reese up with the puck in his own end. He'll lift it out at center. And it's back into the Penguin zone. Marcus Pettersson after it. Malkin got a stick in, knocked him down. And the Penguins bench wanted a call. They won't get one. Zach Aston Reese after it once again. And it's Pettersson that's chased out back in the net. Played up for Gensel. Across for Ricard Raquel. He'll get it in over the line. Crosby on the left side. Pass back across for Gensel under his foot. So Crosby, after going to the dressing room after 2 shifts to start the game, has returned for his third right now as Gensel runs into Aston Reese at the blue line. That allows the Penguins to stay on the puck. Raquel tried to put it on the left side, and it's taken back by Aston Reese. He'll bat in the corner for Liljegren.
He's actually got lucky that Crosby was gone during that power play time that the Penguins had, although Crosby only has a goal and 5 points in the power play this season.
There's Liljegren from center, and he shot it in out of play. And that'll get a whistle with 8:50 to go in the first in a 1-0 Toronto lead.
It is amazing, though, isn't it, how the first 2 or 3 games of the regular season, you think, boy, this is the way it's going to be the rest of the way. And not always, as we've seen with the Penguins power play.
And you're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Hugh Heron from Heathwood Homes. I want to talk to you about our great country, Canada. It's a land of opportunity and a place I call home. For 50 years, Heathwood has been committed to building each home with the very home at last.
Join Bet365 now and discover the power of the world's favorite sportsbook. Watch thousands of live games. Build your own bet. You can even bet on games while they're still being played. Seriously. And if you can't watch the games live, we'll alert you to any changes. Nice. We're the world's favorite sportsbook, and this is no ordinary betting app.
Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, visit connexontario.ca.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Here, the ice is always tilted in your favor. This is where the Leafs play. You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
The first period is brought to you by Bet365. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet. You can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only.
Well, the schedule gets a lot better for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They've only played a third of their games at home this year. 7 of the first 21, so this will be 8 of 22.
Opening a 5-game homestand tonight with 7 of their next 8 games on home ice. And this is after they've got the 5-game win streak and put themselves right back into the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference. Here's Jan Ruda on it in his zone with Pierre Engvall on top of him. He'll bank it off the glass and get it out. And it's all the way back to the Leaf end. Mark Giordano's on it. Bounce pass off the boards to center. Grabbed by Kerfoot. He's in over the line on the right side. Kerfoot spins around top of the circle. Now takes it to the boards. Hands it off for Engvall. He's got Ruda right on him. Dumoulin trying to take it out. There's Pontus Holmberg in the corner. Finds some space, comes out with it. Got it across. Rasmus Sandin had it in his stick, and then he lost control of it. He would have had a great chance for a wide-open shot from the top of the left circle. Now at the point, Bunting sends it on net to Smith with a stop, and played that dangerously with Austin Matthews right there. Penguins get it, though, and Bluger from center will lift it in the Leaf zone.
Shots on goal are showing 6-4 now for the Leafs, but it feels like Pittsburgh's had more than 4 golden scoring opportunities than Shelgren.
Puck worked up to center. Here's Rust. Got it across for Joseph. Dropped it off for Denny Malkin. Broken up. Leafs back the other way. 2-on-1. Matthews. When Nylander and Matthews failed on the pass, and Jeff Petrie lines down to block the second effort, and he never got the puck across. Victor Mete at the left point. Wrist shot on net. And it is smothered by Casey DeSmith, who will hold on.
Well, it's been that kind of start for Austin Matthews. A 2-on-1 break for Nylander. And Matthews looked as though he's got the puck on the left wing side. And this was after the great takeaway by Michael Bunting just inside the Leaf line. And to me, it looked like Matthews was looking past all the way. And then as Petrie sprawled, I think Matthews tried to stop mid-pass. Ended up losing the puck because Petrie was sliding. He ended up falling over the Pittsburgh defenseman.
Draw to the right of DeSmith in the Penguin zone. Marner up with it in the high slot with a wrist shot, and it is gloved by DeSmith, and we've got a hooking penalty on the play. And it happened either right off the draw or right in front of the net there, and I believe it's against the Penguins. Have a look here.
Number 28, 2 minutes for hooking.
And Pettersson got his stick in the arms.
Yeah, and it was right as Marner was going to launch it towards the net. Casey DeSmith was able to make the save, but at 12:59, the Leafs go on their first power play of the night. Penguins 11th overall in the penalty kill, giving up 13 goals and 67 times short. But in the last 6 games, they've been a perfect 14 for 14.
And they've killed off 18 of the last 19 power plays against, if you stretch it to 7 games, since Teddy Bluger returned to the lineup.
I never go above 6.
You don't want to go above? Okay. It's Bluger being back that's made the difference for them. Here's Tavares in the slot. Kicked out by the left pad of DeSmith. Puck comes to the right point. Rasmus Sandin will feed it left side for Marner. Skates into the dot. Played it in front. Tavares, great chance. Great save to Smith. Another stop off Marner. Puck kept in at the line. Here's Sandin to Marner. Fires. Tipped in front by Tavares. It's wide. And the puck will come to center. Rasmus Sandin is on it. Nylander into the corner. Back to the point. Sandin across ice pass. Marner in front. It's headed for Tavares to tip. And it goes over the glass into the netting with 1:14 to go in the power play.
Boy, the power play looks sharp. First attempt of the game. It is amazing how many times the first power play of the game is your best. And John Tavares maybe had the best opportunity. He took the pass right in front of DeSmith. Let it go, but right off the left pad of the Pittsburgh goaltender. Then the rebound dangerously bounced back out in front, but the Penguins were able to clear it.
How about the pass by Nylander to Tavares? Yeah. Put it through his legs on a backhand.
Leafs shooting the Penguins 11-4 here in the first period.
Draw again to the right of DeSmith, and again the Leafs win it. Here's Mark Giordano, top of the circle with it. He'll skate it in. Dropped it back to the point for Marner. Moves to the middle. Shot goes wide. Nylander side of the net can't get to it. DeSmith was caught out of the goal, and Nylander couldn't get the puck back in front. Giordano on the left point with it. Slides it to the right side. Matthews back in the middle. Broken up by the stick of Teddy Bluger. And the Leafs are forced back into their own end. And that's Bluger, the big part of their penalty kill, as we were saying. Penguins haven't given up a power play goal with him back in the lineup.
His 7th game of the season.
Now it's Jeff Petrie that'll get the puck out to center. Mark Giordano takes it back in his own zone. 32 seconds to go in the power play for the Leafs. 5.5 minutes remaining in the first. 1-0 Toronto leading.
And looks like the second unit out for the Leafs now.
There's Mulligan. He'll get to the Pittsburgh line and send it to the corner. Jarnkrok is there. Ripped it around the boards for Engvall. Back to the left point for Giordano. Being watched by Ryan Poehling. Sends it down the half boards for Mulligan. Back to Giordano. Shoots, and that one is deflected out of play with 9 seconds left in the power play.
I like what you saw from the first unit. Moved the puck exceptionally well. Got pucks to the net. But just unable to finish things off. The Leaf power play in the last couple of games are 0 for 7. After having a pretty decent run before that. Leaf power play 8th overall in the National Hockey League. 18 for 71.
Face off to the right of DeSmith. Ball won by David Kampf. Got it back to the point. Here's Sandin, right side for Liljegren. Mulligan trying to come up with it. Tied up with Brian Dumoulin in the corner. Power play comes through, and Leafs have 4 shots on that man advantage. And now it is carried out by Bluger to center. Teddy Bluger gets the Leaf line. And he'll lift it in back of the net. Pittsburgh will get a change, and Toronto controls the puck as Liljegren has got it. Liljegren cuts through center, fires it into the Pittsburgh zone. Pettersson is there. Or Petrie checked that, now thrown around and worked up through center. Sidney Crosby is on it. Crosby cuts it and tried to get it down low for Rickard Rakell. He's on it in the corner and tied up on the play by Justin Hall. Mete goes after it. Victor Mete chips it up on the boards left side to try and get by Petrie from a sharp angle. Wanted to throw it to the net and ends up back of the goal. Had it. Goes back to the point. Here's Hall. Slides it over to Mete. Walking in with a snapshot. And it's right into the logo of DeSmith, who holds on. With 3:59 to go in the first period, Mitch Marner's goal has the Maple Leafs out front. 1-0 in Pittsburgh on Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This Black Friday at Bell, you'll get savings and Canada's best 5G network. And it feels like, whoop, whoop. They also feel like,
oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
You might get this feeling too.
Woohoo! The Bell Black Friday event is on. Get on Canada's best 5G network with savings up to 80% on the latest phones and so much more. Visit a Bell store or bell.ca/Black Friday for details. Bell. Black Friday just got better.
It's the Black Friday event at Rona and Lowe's. Until Wednesday, enjoy great deals in-store and online, such as 30% off on 3.78-liter cans of Seco interior paint. This offer is valid on Seco Prestige, Endurance, Evolution, and Specialty paint. With great deals such as 30% off Seco paint, we have everything you need to refresh your decor. And on your budget. Certain conditions apply. Details in-store or online at Lowe's.ca or Rona.ca.
Shop Amazon for last-minute gifts. Great deals for everyone on your list. Gifts for mom and gifts for dad. Even for your sister and your brother Chad. Ah, shoot, we didn't realize we were supposed to get a gift for our dog walker guy. We almost forgot about our dentist, Dr. Kerr. We didn't expect to get a gift from her. Or our cousin, I forget his name. He got us something nice, better reciprocate. For last-minute deals on gifts for people you forgot. Get fast and free shipping at Amazon.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Scores! David Kampf in front of the net!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Shots 13-4 in favor of the Leafs and a 1-0 Toronto lead with just under 4 minutes to go in the first.
And the goal scorer, Mitch Marner, has 3 of those shots. John Tavares has a couple. They both came in the power play. And Victor Mete, who we saw dash up the left wing in the last shift, has 2 shots on goal as well. But I tell you, there were some great stops by Eric Shelgren very early on in this game when it was scoreless, and then right after the Leafs went up 1-0.
Here's Mark Giordano at the left point. Hands it off for Marner. Dumps it off to the corner. Tavares side of the net. Throws it in front. And that one escaped everyone. And the puck ends up all the way back down the ice in the Leaf zone. Dahlgren out of the net. Sets it up for Mark Giordano. And he'll stop back of the Toronto net with it. Now Giordano out the right side. Had to settle the puck down for a second there. It bobbled on him. Now it is brought in by Marner. Dropped it back for Yarncroke. He'll lift it up for Marner. It bounces at the point. And it is blocked, and Brock McGinn has got it. And he'll lift it into the Leaf zone with Giordano going after it. Had to look over his shoulders. Danton Heinen was right on him, but Kemp comes up with the puck. He'll turn back and plays it for Giordano. Dustin Hall, cross for Kemp. Leafs still back inside their own blue line here. Now Kemp has to stretch for a pass at center. Fired across for Rasmus Sandin. He'll gain the red line and dump it into the Pittsburgh zone as Brian Dumoulin will work it around for Jan Ruda. Up onto the wing, and Malkin's got it. Kenny Malkin plays it over for Dumoulin, and it's dumped in. Malkin into the corner. Tangled up by Rasmus Sandin. Now Malkin back of the net. Comes out with it, being watched by Sandin. Feeds it off for Jason Zucker. He'll go up to the left half boards with it. Tried to drop it back towards the net, but it's cut off by Zach Aston Reese, who will skate it to center and lift it in. Bounces in front. Here's Dennis Mulligan with a chance, and a blocker save made by Casey DeSmith. Aston Reese tried to fish it to the point for Mete. Got away from him and all the way back to the Leaf zone. Back all the way. He'll dump it in as Pettersson goes after it. He has it behind the Pittsburgh net. Slides it over to Letang. Cut off at the point by Mete. Now Austin Matthews trying to take it away behind the Pittsburgh net. Letang in there, so is Bunting. It comes free, and Sidney Crosby is on it. Pass across for Letang, up through center. Onto the left side for Raquel. He'll tip it into the corner. Mete will retrieve the puck. Plays it off the glass and out, and it's grabbed by Bunting. He takes a hit from Pettersson inside the Pittsburgh line. Cleared in front for William Nylander trying to go to the net. But it skips away as Gensel will get it across for Raquel. Now back in the Leaf zone. Here's Raquel centering pass. Trying to get it to the net for Gensel, and it goes right to Shelgren, who holds on with 1:33 to go in the first and a 1-0 Leafs lead.
Well, it is so hard not to notice what Mark Giordano has done for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 7 straight games coming into this one, over 20 minutes of ice time. That's obviously affected by the number of injuries they've had on the Blues line. Just one of the first 15 games, he hit the 20-minute mark. And he has been If you ever wanted a guy to go in mid-season and say, look, about the contract. I know I gave you a discount, but we weren't really planning on this. He has just been dynamite. And with that, Justin Hall as well, who at times becomes a punching bag in Toronto.
Sidney Crosby has gone back to the Pittsburgh dressing room for the second time in this period, so something to monitor here tonight. 1:20 to go in the first period here as the puck's in the corner to the left of Shelgren. It's cleared for Justin Hall. He goes back in the net, up onto the wing. Engvall will tip it down the ice. Icing waved off as Jeff Petrie is back to get it in the Penguins zone.
By the way, the Penguins came into the game with no injuries. They were healthy, and now
breaking towards the net is Josh Archibald, but he can't get a shot away. It was knocked off his stick. Kerfoot will drop it back behind the net. Healthy squad, and now trouble with their captain here in this game. The early going. As Liljegren gets to center, and he'll play it in front of the Pittsburgh net. Jeff Petrie is on the puck. Danton Heinen lifts it into the corner. Back to the goal. Hall is on it. Wrapped it around the boards. Kicks free for John Tavares. He's got it through center. Over the Penguins line on the right side. Backhand towards the net. That one grazed the mask of Casey DeSmith. Yarncroke fighting for it with Brock McGinn, but it'll kick out at center for Carter. He goes to dump it in, but it's off the stick and over the glass behind Shelgren. 17.8 seconds to go in the first.
There's a 5-game winning streak for the Penguins. They were in Philadelphia last night, defeated the Flyers 4-1. They'll only have maybe a slight edge. I mean, this is Leafs play back-to-back. The tough end of the 3 and 4 is when games 2 and 3 are back-to-back.
Giordano on it inside his own zone. Got it up at center. It's brought in by Marner. Marner to the slot. Pass across for Austin Matthews and fanned on the one-time shot on the right face-off dot. That was in his wheelhouse, and he just didn't line it up. Now along the boards, Matthews got it to the net as he was knocked down. And DeSmith will stop it, steering it to the corner with period number 1 coming to a close.
Boy, it's been like that for Austin Matthews, hasn't it? He's in the right wing circle, so he's on his off wing. But Mitch Marner throws it over, and Austin Matthews, I think this goes off the heel of his stick. I don't know if Dumoulin got a piece of it. No. Matthews, I mean, if he makes contact with this, and it's a typical Austin Matthews bullet, the Leafs are up 2-0.
Shot 17-5 in favor of Toronto in the opening period. Mitch Marner with a goal 40 seconds into the contest. As the Maple Leafs out front, 1-0 in Pittsburgh through 20 minutes of play. Brent Cunning and Gord Stellick coming up in our intermission. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
As an expert traveler, you know what you want from a Black Friday sale. And it's not a bargain on a microwave. It's white sand and blue skies. So join us for Sell-Off Vacation's big Black Friday sale and get instant savings off your expertly planned vacation when you book by November 27th. Because a microwave can warm up a cup of coffee, but it can't warm you up like a tropical getaway can. Let's make it happen. In-store with 6 locations in the GTA, online, or just give us a call.
SelloutVacations.com. Ever find yourself in a situation where you really want to pick something but can't? Mega wedgie? Peeling sunburn? Pesky little nose goblins? The worst! But at Kudo, picking isn't shamed. In fact, it's highly encouraged. With our new Pick Your Perk plans, you get to personalize your phone plan with the free feature that makes you happy. Now, who wouldn't pick that? So pick away, picky people. Pick away.
The Bay's Black Friday sale is on now, with savings of up to 60% off, including clearance. Get amazing deals on all your favorite brands, like Free People, Mango, Sorel, Blendtec, Dior fragrances, and more. Plus, new offers are dropping every day, and they only last 24 hours. So head over to your local Hudson's Bay store or thebay.com so you don't miss out. Get ahead of your holiday shopping with offers on hundreds of brands at the Bay's Black Friday sale. Exclusions and conditions apply.
The world's biggest soccer tournament is back, and for the first time in decades, the Canadian men will be there. Sportsnet is your home for game day insights and day after analysis, not only for the Canadian men, but for the entire tournament. Don't miss a moment of the action. Listen for the Soccer Report right throughout the tournament. Brought to you by CertainTeed, the pro's choice for roofing, siding, drywall, insulation, and ceiling systems. CertainTeed, pro all the way.
In life, there are those who do and those who do more. Just like F-150. Doing more is part of our DNA. It's why F-Series has been Canada's best-selling line of trucks for 56 years. We don't raise the bar. We are the bar. Right now, get 1.49% APR purchase financing for 72 months on select new 2022 F-150 models. Your Toronto area Ford stores have them available now, but they won't last. Get your 2022 F-150 today. Visit your nearby Ford store or Ford.ca for details.
Rewards reimagined. Get the credit card designed especially for Rogers customers. The new Rogers Connections MasterCard, where you earn great rewards and benefits, like 5 Roam Like Home days every year at no cost, and up to 2% cash back on your purchases. Plus, for a limited time, get 10% cash back on all your eligible purchases for the first 3 months, up to $100. You could earn over $400 in average value in your first year. Apply now at rogersbank.com/connections. Conditions apply.
You work hard. Now you need a store that works hard to save you money. You need Work and Wear's Black Friday sale. Now till Monday, save up to 50% off winter workwear, safety footwear, and clothing. Top brands like Carhartt, Tough Duck, Terra, Kodiak, Timberland, Dickies, and Baffin, to name a few. And because Work and Wear works hard to save you money, you save the tax too. Shop now at workandwear.ca or in store in Markham, Scarborough, and now in Whitby.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Michael Bunting has got the hat trick. Holy mackerel, what a game!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
It'll come back to center, and Austin Matthews is on it. Slides it up ahead. Here's Marner. Hit along left side to the net. Great play. He scores! How about that move by Mitch Marner? Make that point streak 16 games.
16 in a row for number 16, just a couple off the Leafs franchise record for longest point streak. Marner opening the scoring there for the Leafs. It is 1-0 after 20 minutes in Pittsburgh. Gord, we're looking at the shots, Leafs hammering away at the Penguins in that perspective. You watch, you listen to the game. They're definitely carrying the play in terms of what you're seeing. We talk about good road periods. That was as good a one as you could have from a Leafs perspective.
Well, and the streak goes on. You're right. I mean, look at the 3-1 shot margin, and again, a break, a bad change sets up that quick early first dagger, and the Leafs take advantage of. Now, the storyline one we're watching at, because we get to see the feed, and the Hockey Night in Canada, Rogers Sportsnet crew, they slowed it down. Ooh. The equipment people or athletic therapists, a discussion with 2 of them, so they're trying to read their lips of one, because Sidney Crosby's gone in the dressing room twice. Someone's reporting equipment issue.
So it's Rob Rossi of The Athletic, and honestly,
who's very plugged in, by the way.
He is, and now all I can think of is, with most players, it's an equipment issue. It is what it is. We know how superstitious Crosby is. Now, I know some of the gear he's replaced over the years, but can you imagine the surgery they've been doing on, we know he's wearing the same jock forever all through his NHL career. The wear and tear on this Crosby stuff, we know how particular he is. So, equipment guys, they have a hard enough job as it is. I can only imagine the kind of panic-induced nature on the ice, for that matter, for the amount of time you expect to have them, and you have to take advantage, and that's exactly what the Leafs did.
Well, and then, Jim and John were speculating as well, because he got so enraged about that goal, and he's kicking the boards, and then you wondered, he disappeared. Was it because of whatever it was that he disappeared? But he just seemed ticked about that goal. But it's twice, so about a third of the period. Mm-hmm. So it's not usual for Sidney Crosby to exit the game, whether it's an equipment issue, whatever. That is really baffling. Well, I mean, skates would be the one thing. I mean, I don't know what it would be. Skates would have to be the thing that you would leave a game. Yeah. You would leave a game during the course. But you're right. No Sid on the ice. The less Sid, the better for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But Matt Murray, by the way.
Hold on. If his jockstrap's broken, you think he's out there? I disagree. I'm not saying skates aren't the most important thing, but there's one other piece of equipment that would keep me away from the game. Myself.
I'm sure they have more than one. Okay? And just saying, I'm sure you put it on and whatever. I don't know if it needed a refitting the second time around. So anyway.
I just wanted to hear you talk about Sidney Crosby's job.
Yeah. So that's all. But also, there were some pretty good chances on Matt Murray. Now, they weren't all shots. Some were shot wide, whatever, but he made a couple of big saves. But the Maple Leafs just playing a nice road game again. You saw Hollowell a couple times, just about, okay, this is the big leagues, and he had some struggles, takes some big hits, but at least he's taking the hits. And except for all's well for the Maple Leafs, and we'll just find out is all well for Sidney Crosby. Don't know. And it's just funny that they're doing it again now, trying to try to dissect the conversation. And it's just, which is weird because normally someone talks to the coach about an update. And it's like almost like, did you order skates? Did someone sign? Look at the signature. The courier, someone signed this morning. Thanksgiving, nobody's around. I don't know.
The other thing, and we're not ignoring it, but I'll be honest with me. I'm hopeful that this all changes over the next two periods. Another weird one for Austin Matthews. He sets up the Marner goal. It's a great pass there. This is not a guy who's lost his vision or his ability to play, but he has the 2-on-1 where he can't get a shot off at all. And yeah, he was trying to pass it, but that's just unlike him. He heals the amazing one-time opportunity he has at the end of the period. We continue to be having these conversations about Austin just not quite looking like himself.
Well, playing really well, just not converting, right? Getting the chances, which if he's taking those shots, that's a good thing because it's not down in your end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just some of those plays that when you get 60 goals, they just go in. You have the puck like it's lacrosse ball and lacrosse stick, and we saw that. You have the shots that were, laser fast and just in the highest trajectory in the corner of the net, and we just haven't seen as many of those.
No, you certainly haven't. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. The one thing you have seen is that the Leafs have taken a 1-0 lead on the Penguins in Pittsburgh. Mitch Marner's 6th of the season extends his point streak to 16 games. The Leafs are up 1-0 on the Penguins after 20 minutes. We'll be back for a little bit more of the first intermission on Molson Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Pavlov's dog proved the power of predictable results. And for that, Ivan Pavlov received the Nobel Prize. Now Nick Pavlov, broker Remax West, also receives awards, also for predictable results. So have the award-winning Nick Pavlov real estate team provide a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
I'm Jamie. As an elementary school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover and succeed. They need a learning recovery plan that provides the focused and individual attention they deserve. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's knowmore.ca. A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is you. But to get an honest day's work, you need a callback. You need a job. Express Employment Professionals can help. We'll connect you to the right company. We're committed to your success and never charge a fee to find you a job. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Find your location at expresspros.com or on the Express Jobs app.
Some ice dancing pairs synchronize their breathing to perform as one, the same way a Subaru synchronizes with you. Imagine your phone syncs, your playlist plays, your heart races as you feel the full-time traction. Here you are, moving gracefully as one, making every turn seem so effortless. Left turn signal, right turn signal.
With 2 men in a truck, the company is hiring motivated and enthusiastic team members for mover, driver, and customer service positions. And if you're looking for more, professional advancement is always a possibility. In fact, 75% of 2 men in a truck managers started in frontline positions. Now is the time to apply. Visit 2meninatruck.ca and click careers.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Just call him the Undertaker, because Morgan Riley buries loose pucks. Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back. Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Brent Cunning, Gord Stellick here with you for a little bit more. The first intermission, Leafs up 1-0 on the Penguins after the first period, thanks to a goal from Mitch Marner. The NHL scoreboard is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is the world's favorite sports book with 80 million members worldwide. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Gordo, what do we got going on today?
Yeah, it seems the Canadian-based teams, mostly in the United States, taking advantage of home dates on Thanksgiving weekend. So the two Alberta teams, different results. Carolina, they need. Well, I don't know if they needed it, but they wanted to win. They had lost in overtime to Boston, got shut out by Arizona. They beat the Calgary Flames 3-2. New York Rangers have a 3-0 lead over the Edmonton Oilers. Oilers had not.
And they got Shesterkin, so that thing's wrapped up.
And they had not scored in their last 80 shots. They score 4 unanswered goals in the third period. Beat in Madison Square Garden. Beat the New York Rangers 4-3. Games in progress right now. The Florida Panthers a 4-1 lead over St. Louis in the second. New Jersey, end of one, leads Washington 1-0. And the New York Islanders, late in the first, lead the Philadelphia Flyers 1-0. Dallas, Colorado, that starts in an hour's time. Vegas and Bruce Boudreau's Vancouver Canucks, that starts in 2 hours' time. Can he get another reprieve?
Bruce, there it is. Let's hope. A lot of fans of him in this building and in the city there. And again, the two big pieces of news coming out of the first period there. Mitch Marner extending his point streak, now points in 16 straight. He opens the scoring with his 6th of the season. And Sidney Crosby has been on and off the ice. We believe it is equipment related, so we will wait and see. We all love watching and listening to Sid play hockey, but I don't think we'd be too upset to see him miss a little more time, especially if it's just equipment related. You know, you never will.
And it is such a strange one. Like, obviously, I mean, finely tuned machines, they all know about it. And if something is off, I mean, generally it gets corrected during the intermission. Generally stuff isn't off, but whatever it is, he's not happy. And it sounded like, just looking at the guys chatting, the equipment guys, so obviously they're not happy too. They're feeling some heat for something, whatever.
Yeah, they looked like a crew under the gun, certainly there. We will be coming back with the second period from Pittsburgh. John Bartlett and Jim Ralph will have the call. This is Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with tools to do incredible things, because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 310-DELL.
Black Friday is on now at Mark's. From November 24th to 30th, save up to 70% off in-store and online. Great savings with new offers on hikers, fleece, jackets, and more. Visit Mark's in-store or at marks.com to shop and save.
Crestwood Preparatory College inspires excellence in academics and sports.
It's a school where teachers make the difference.
A school that builds a student's confidence, develops effective study habits, and encourages creativity.
A school that enhances the traditional classroom setting with leading-edge technology, connecting students with the world around them, resulting in admission to the best universities.
When your child feels safe and respected, it gives them the confidence to take risks on and off the ice. Book a private tour at crestwood.on.ca.
When they go low, we go low. I'm Mark Mandelson, and it's Black Friday at Bay Bluer Radio. Our lowest prices of the year on top-rated Sony OLED TVs. I love my Sony, and I've got one for you, too.
When they go fast, we go slow. Personal attention, expert advice, one customer at a time. In-store, online, or on the phone.
There's only one Bay Bluer Radio. The right sound for the right price.
Keeping construction and mining industries earth-moving equipment at peak performance is a big job. It takes the latest technology, insight, experience, and some incredible people. At SMS Equipment, we roll up our sleeves and get the job done. Grow your career and expertise by working with some of the world's most advanced machines and heavy equipment technologies. SMS Equipment. Big machines, bigger careers. Apply now at smsequipment.com.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
That is it! We have them all the way!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Set to go with period number 2 in Pittsburgh. The Leafs leading the Penguins 1-0. John Bartlett sitting in for Joe Bowen. Alongside Jim Ralph here tonight. And Ralphie, that was a start in the first period that you maybe were a little concerned for the Leafs, but they turn around after Marner gets the goal 40 seconds in, and then they get rolling in that second half of the period. And
yeah, in the second half they were very good. But it was the first half. Even though Marner scored 40 seconds in, then it looked like the Leafs were holding on a bit. Victor Mete had to take a penalty as Zucker got in behind the defense. I thought Källgren, only 5 shots in the first. My math might be off, but at least 3 outstanding saves by Källgren. There were some other scary moments in the Leaf end early on, but I'm guessing the last 12 minutes of the opening period, the Leafs seemed to spend all of their time in the Pittsburgh zone.
Now everyone was wondering what would the status of Sidney Crosby be, and he is on the bench to start the second period after he went to the dressing room a couple of times in that first period. So we'll see if that was just an equipment issue, but he is out there on the ice right now and ready to go.
Penguins, by the way, average age the oldest in the National Hockey League, 30.2 years of age. And we mentioned Letang and Malkin signing, but Malkin 36 years old. Chris Letang, 35. And Jeff Carter's up there. So when you start looking at all the other pieces.
Second period underway now. It is the Leafs on the left of your radio dial and the Penguins on the right as the Leafs have it in the Pittsburgh zone. Yarncroke got it back to left point. Giordano over to Hall, throws it on net. Marner got a piece of it. Tip to Smith, will block it, thrown into the slot. And Tavares shot it over the goal. Rickard Rakell goes after it, and then Yarncroke trying to check him, and he breaks his stick.
Well, Alex Kerfoot got a penalty in Minnesota yesterday doing the same thing.
Justin Hall then on the right side, hit by Gensel. And the puck gets rolled back into the Penguin zone down the ice, and that'll be an icing call against Pittsburgh. And Hall look a little shook up after that.
Remember yesterday, Alex Kerfoot, stick-on-stick slash. He was the slasher, but it was his stick that broke. Much like this play here, but the Leafs do not get the penalty. And I think that's why Kerfoot was upset. He was going, wait a minute. That's the other thing about Austin Matthews that has been off this season. 9 goals on the season. Only 3 of them at even strength. He's come into the league. Seen a lot of goals from the top of the crease or in rebounds, redirections.
Face off to the left of DeSmith. Matthews won it from the point. Shot gets through. DeSmith to stop again. The Leafs have won over 71% of the faceoffs in the game tonight. They've dominated Pittsburgh in that department.
Like we were saying, you go through so many things that if you were to say at the start of the the Leafs are going to lose their...
Number 26, 2 minutes for interference.
Well, there's going to be an interference penalty. I think Jeff Petry's going to the box as he knocked Willie Nylander down on the point shot. Petry doesn't like it. Players don't like the call when they go right to the penalty box and right away look up at the scoreboard to see the replay. They want some vindication.
They don't always get it.
They never get it if you're in the penalty box. No, looking. The Leafs, who were very sharp in the power play, the one power play they had in the first period, they had 4 shots on goal.
Now they'll set it up in the slot. Pass across. Marner, wide open net in front. Jan Rutta lying down, and he blocks it. DeSmith scrambles back, and the puck gets cleared.
Boy, the Penguins were calling for a penalty as they had turned it over in their own end, and the Leafs dodged a bullet there, but then had a great opportunity, and nobody could find the handle on it.
Jan Rutta just lying down in the crease, kept it out. Now Matthews in the slot. Kicked out by the left pad of Casey DeSmith, and the net comes off. And play will continue here for a moment. Sandin with it. The net's still off in behind DeSmith. He's waving his arm.
Yeah, and you know what? In the meantime, they're killing a lot of time off the penalty.
They're burning off the power play. The Leafs actually should just keep the puck here and make the attention as well. Now it is whistled down.
Yeah, if they blow it right away, that's 20 seconds ago? So the Penguins get a huge break. Now the linesman is talking to the referee. I don't know if you can go back and reset the clock based on when the net went off, but obviously if the Leafs score, it's not going to count at this point. Marner, Nylander, and Tavares had the great opportunity before that when Ruutu sprawled in front of his goaltender Casey DeSmith. But yeah, that was... If Pittsburgh didn't like the call, they got a huge break with basically 20 minutes of free time. 1:12 left in the power play.
Well, the faceoff ends up outside of the Penguin zone.
The linesman must be saying the Leafs were the ones that knocked it off.
But it wasn't. It was Casey DeSmith that kicked it off with his left skate. That was odd. The play would have continued like that. It benefited Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, Toronto regroups in their own end with it. Now they'll break out. Sandin with it. Got it ahead at center. Tavares. Cross-ice pass brought in by Austin Matthews, and it's an offside at the Pittsburgh line. 54 seconds to go in the power play.
And we shall see if Sheldon Keefe is going to make the switch right now to go to the second unit. Like we said in the opening period, Bartz, how often your first power play is the best one you're going to get all game. And for the Leafs, it was a great power play. 4 shots on goal. They had a number of great scoring chances. But this one, and they're going to stay with the big boys. Not other than scramble in front of Casey to Smith. They haven't moved the puck quite as sharply as they did in the first.
Penguins iced it off the draw. Now it is brought up at center. As Marner will send it across into the left corner. Tavares going after it. Fed back of the goal. Letang has got it off the glass and out, and it's back down the ice. Dahlgren out of the net to set it up. 30 seconds to go in the Leafs power play. He'll work it up the boards to the right side where Poehling cuts it off of the line. Ryan Poehling dancing in shorthanded. Couldn't get to the goal with it. And now Engvall will circle back. Mark Giordano up onto the right side. Mulligan to center. Here's Jarnkrok. Feeds it into the Pittsburgh zone. Bunting moves to the middle. Hands it off for Mulligan. Back to Bunting. Shoots off a skate. Just goes wide of the net. Engvall trying to get it back into the slot. Taken away, and the Penguins clear it as Archibald will get it down the ice, and the power play is over.
Leafs now out shooting Pittsburgh 21-5. But just a 1-0 lead.
Letang after a rolling puck in the corner. Goes up the left boards for Rust. And Rust will skate it out of his own zone. Gains the red line. He'll dump it in. Rasmus Sandin after the puck. Goes back in the net. Hopped over the stick of Evgeny Malkin. Now Malkin trying to help out Rust to the left half boards with it. 4 of them fight for it. Then Rust gave a little shot in the corner there to Kerfoot. Jason Zucker tried to get it back to the point. It got by Letang, and it's all the way back to the Pittsburgh goal line where Smith is out of the net to play. He'll give it for Letang. Now back for Pettersson. Up the left side for Rust. Cross-ice feed out of the reach of the Penguins. Jake Gensel. Now Letang trying to get it in front of the net. That is blocked, and Zach Austin Reese will feed it back for Justin Hall. Hands it off for Mete. Long pass at center, and it got away from Kerfoot. That'll be an icing call against Toronto with just about 4 minutes gone here in the second and a 1-0 Leafs lead.
Well, for Alex Kerfoot, it has been a tough year. We can talk about Austin Matthews not being on pace for even a 40-goal season so far. Alex Kerfoot, 17 games now without a goal. Just 1 goal on the season, and that was a power play marker early on. Talk about needing an offense in the second unit.
Drive from the right point by Pettersson is stopped by Källgren.
A number of players. When you can certainly build the excuse that Kerfoot has moved up and down the lineup. He doesn't have regular line mates, but he kills penalties. There's a lot of things he does well. Much like David Kemp. Kemp hasn't scored in 14 games, but is great in the penalty kill, great on faceoffs, very strong defensively. And we have the Tavares line coming out for faceoff in his own end.
Penguins won the draw again. Here's Jeff Petrie at the left point with a wrist shot through traffic, deflected wide. Justin Hall goes after in the corner. Gensel on him and slid back in the net. Raquel after it. Raquel tangled up with Mark Giordano. He'll knock it free. Tavares picks off the puck. He'll hand it off for Marner, and he'll puck and it's grabbed by Jarnkrok. He'll go to the left point for Giordano, and that is off a stick of Crosby, and it's out at center. Now Gensel will dump it in. Dahlgren stopped it back in the net. He'll set it up for Mark Giordano. Giordano surveys the ice. Gave it for Hall. Gets it back now. Giordano off to Justin Hall. Up to the red line. Dumps it in, and that'll go around the boards. Off the skate. Jan Ruda is there. He'll reverse it around. In comes Mac Hollowell. Now it's Nylander up with it. Back to the point for Hollowell. Slides it over to Mete. Left side into the slot. Austin Matthews had it on his stick and then lost it. And now he's forced to center by Brock McGinn. And the Leafs have to take it back in their own end. Played up ahead. Here's Nylander into the Pittsburgh zone. Tried to go to the slot. Couldn't win the battle 1-on-3. Penguins clear it. As Brian Dumoulin will play it into the Toronto end. Mete for Hollowell. Up the boards, and Nylander's got it. He'll lift it high in the air, and that'll skip back to the Penguin zone. Pettersson's going to have to hurry. Matthews right on him, and Matthews will take Pettersson to the boards. Letang comes in to get the puck back of his own net. Now skates it into the corner, stops and escapes Kerfoot. Hands it off for Evgeny Malkin. Played over to Pettersson, and he'll dump it in. Rasmus Sandin after the puck. He's checked to the forecheck by Zucker as Russ is on a try to throw it in front. Back for Zucker, and it was taken away by Pontus Holmberg, and it's clear to center as Pierre Engvall's got it. Bouncing puck, and he'll force his way into the Pittsburgh zone. Pettersson trying to knock it loose. Grabbed by Kerfoot. Down in front. Rolls into the crease. Comes back up high. Liljegren with a chance. He fires right on from the top of the circle, and Casey DeSmith has got it. And he holds on as the Leafs continue the offensive onslaught here in Pittsburgh with 6:18 gone in the second period. It's 1-0 Toronto, and you're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
I'm Johnny. As a high school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover from pandemic learning disruptions. Schools work best when the government listens to and respects the expertise of teachers like me. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's knowmore.ca.
A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Some ice dancing pairs synchronize their breathing to perform as one. Return seems so effortless. Left turn signal, right turn signal. Look at you, smiling like a gold medalist. Visit your local Subaru dealer and really own winter with uncommon synchronicity.
Do you want to bet on live sports? Then you need to try in-play betting at Bet365. In-play betting lets you make a bet while the game's still being played. Seriously, you can bet on things like puck line, the money line, total hits, touchdowns, the next goal scorer, fight outcome. Download the app now and see for yourself why Bet365 is the world's favorite sportsbook.
Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem.
Radio Network.
The second period is brought to you by Express Pro. Don't stress about finding a new job. Let Express Employment Professionals help. Visit expresspros.com for good local jobs in a variety of industries.
Bill and I always bring this up when there's a Pittsburgh-Toronto game. Evgeny Malkin, 42 career games, 24 career goals against the Leafs, 68 points in 42 games and -7. I don't know how you explain it.
Some things are better left unexplained. Here comes Ryan Poehling. He's got it through center for Pittsburgh. Hands it up for Jan Rutta with a long drive over the line. Kicked out by the right pad of Källgren. Leafs control it. Giordano. Pass up ahead. Marner will tip it in. Dumoulin after the puck. Tavares in quickly. Knocked it away from him. Back of the Pittsburgh net. Now Dumoulin has it once again, and he'll feed it up on the left side for Bluger, but he missed the pass. It's off his stick down the ice, and that's an icing call against the Penguins.
Well, fatigue has been a problem. The Leafs haven't showed it. The seventh shot, that save that Källgren just made, the right pad save, just the seventh shot on goal as we're nearing the midway mark of this hockey game right here. Boy, has Matt Murray been spectacular. Like I said, when you look at so many things you could point to that the Leafs need improvement on, you can look at the injuries and everything else.
Big shorthanded breakaway save yesterday afternoon, and then the huge stop off Kirill Kaprizov in the dying seconds with the net empty for the Wild to preserve the Toronto victory.
What you like, though, is Matt Murray said, well, he kind of missed his spot. He put it more towards the middle of the net, so I got kind of lucky. So you like a guy that's got that kind of humility, don't you?
Absolutely. Here's William Nylander at center. He'll flip it into the corner. Letang goes after it. Played back of the Pittsburgh net. William Nylander trying to catch up to it. Up by Letang in the corner. He'll swing it back down low. Bunting chasing after it, but Pettersson's got it first, and he'll bank it off the boards and out. Jumping up to knock it down was Matthews. Left to Nylander. Over to Bunting. Oh, he put it off the bar. What a great setup, and Michael Bunting caught nothing but iron. Back the other way. Here comes Crosby. Shoots. Good stick save made by Källgren.
I think that was the knob of the stick, too, Bart.
And now Gensel fires right on. It's loose. And it's in behind Shalgren, but the whistle went. Raquel taps it in the net. The horn will go, but the whistle went first. And that was a...
Well, we had a better view than the official.
Yes.
The puck squirted through Shalgren. We could see it, but the official was to Shalgren's left. And the Penguins, it should be a good goal, but pretty difficult to unblow a whistle.
Crosby talking to referee Kelly Sutherland, and he's saying, I didn't see it.
And of course, this is after Michael Bunting on a great setup from Willie Nylander. Hit iron on an open net. Crosby got stopped by Shalgren, but the Penguins were able to keep the puck in. And the crowd's not going to like this. I mean, this does it go 5-hole or maybe under the right arm of Shalgren? I think it was under the
blocker arm, yeah. It just snuck through.
And then drops into the blue paint behind him. He never has it covered. Might have gone off the inside of his arm and then 5-hole and out. Now, they're going to look at this, but I don't know.
So the call on the ice, obviously no goal, and they're going to confirm here.
So I'm not sure what the challenge is.
Well, Raquel put the puck in well after the whistle. That was quickly on the headset here, and Kelly Sutherland is going to give us an explanation. What is it, Mr. Sutherland?
The puck is deemed dead as there was not continuous motion of the shot. The whistle was blown to kill the play. You have no goal.
There it is.
Okay, good explanation.
I'm going to tell you something. Leafs have had some breaks. 3 goals called back against the New Jersey Devils. Matt Murray had some opportune times to displace the net in Minnesota yesterday.
You're right. It's a good break, but it's the right call. The puck does stop. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
Now, of course, if you're a Penguins fan, you're going to say it's not the right call because the whistle shouldn't have gone. There should have been no call.
Petrie off the draw with a drive from the line that's gloved by Shalgren.
And I believe the fans in Pittsburgh, Mr. Bartlett, agree with me. You can hear them booing, and we heard every time Matt Murray knocked the net off, you could hear the booing in Minnesota yesterday. Well, of course, the Leafs had to leave the ice in New Jersey when fans started throwing things on the ice after the 3rd goal was disallowed.
Leafs get it out to center, and now it is poked in over the Penguins line and cleared back up ice. Sidney Crosby after it on the right half boards in the Leaf zone. Dropped it in the high slot. Hailing coming in. Oh, and he tried to feed it back over to Gensel, and it just got away from him. Sidney Crosby in the corner for Jake Gensel. Back up high for Raquel. He'll leave it at the point. Joseph to Raquel on the left side. Trying to give it for Gensel. He wanted to give it back to him, but it's broken up and forced back down to the Penguin zone. Joseph to center, where it is stopped and lifted in by Toronto. Casey DeSmith out of the net. We'll leave it for Petrie. Lays it up to center ice. Marner was there, and he'll poke it back for Liljegren. Now Rasmus Sandin. High pass off the stick of Marner. Stopped at center by Joseph, who brings it in, but that ends up being an offside against the Penguins with 11:02 to go in the second and a 1-0 Maple Leafs lead.
And the fans don't seem to like the offside now. The booing continues in Pittsburgh. But great pressure by the Penguins right after the goal was called off. Shalgren had to make some big stops. They also had some missed passes to the front of the net. 11:02 to go here in the second period. 24-11. So the Leafs still out shooting the Penguins badly with a 1-0 lead here in the second.
Marner will play it ahead for Tavares into the Pittsburgh zone, and it knocked off his stick. And it is Danton Heinen that'll send it back the other way with Liljegren on it behind his own net. Puck gets cleared through center off the boards down the ice, and will be an icing call against the Leafs.
Leafs come into this game second place in the Atlantic Division, 7 points back of the Boston Bruins, 3 up on Detroit, 4 up on Tampa. Although we mentioned Mitch Marner was the opening goal of this game, the only goal of this game, just 40 seconds in. Now hit the 16-game point streak, tying with John Anderson, Babe Dye, and Dave Andrechuk. We've hit that mark, and 2 back of Eddie Olchuk and Daryl Sittler at 18-game point streaks for the longest in franchise history.
Here's Rust, top of the left circle. Plays it in the slot. Malkin dropped it back for Zucker. Over to the right side. Pettersson takes the shot. Never made it through to the net. Malkin, left point for Letang. Fanned on it. It rolls into the slot, and Tavares is there, and he'll take off with it for the Maple Leafs as he hits the Penguins logo at center, and he'll rip it into the Pittsburgh zone. Leafs on a change. On the forecheck. Pass in front. Scores! Pontus Holmberg comes off the bench, and he gets the feed from the corner into the slot. He'll snap it into the top corner for his second NHL goal, and it's 2-0 Toronto.
Wow, Holmberg picked up his first NHL point in Pittsburgh. And now as his second NHL goal, he scored the game winner in New Jersey, and he absolutely rips this. Middle of the ice, above the hash marks. But Chris Letang got spun around. And I believe was it Yarncrook?
Marner.
Was it Marner?
Marner with a great play to take it away from Letang and
it was,
feed Holmberg coming in.
You see it on the replay now. It was 16, not 19. And Marner's going to pick up his second point of the game. But Letang, it looked like Marner collided with him to the extent where Letang lost his footing. Marner stripped him of the puck and threw it out into the high slot, and the Leafs up by 2 here in the second.
And now they'll ice the puck as Dumoulin goes back to get it, and the faceoff will come back to the Leafs zone. Holmberg from Marner at 9:55 to make it 2-0 Toronto.
Well, we'll see if the Leafs can hold on here. They did build a 2-goal lead in the third period. Minnesota yesterday. Wild scored a goal with Marc-Andre Fleury on the bench, but couldn't hit the equalizer after that.
Face off to the right of Källgren. Penguins win the draw. Dumoulin gets it down to left half boards. Fed back to the point by Raquel. Shot goes wide. Side of the net. They jam at it. And Källgren thought he had it covered up, but it was sitting free at the side of the net. And again, Kelly Sutherland was on the wrong side to see it, but he had just enough of it to at least
but
get
he
the whistle.
Waited a little longer this time, didn't he? But all of the fans on the camera side of the building knew exactly that the puck was free once again. And Källgren, he did have it for a while before it got knocked loose, but Sidney Crosby right on Källgren's doorstep looking for the loose puck.
9:38 to go in the second. It's 2-0 Toronto on Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Make sure that your business documents are for your recipient's eyes and no one else's. Trust Record Express for industry-leading standards in secure storage, scanning, and shredding. With fast, same-day service, flexible contract terms, and all the support you need to safeguard your confidential information. Visit recordexpress.ca today for document storage and shredding special offers. That's Record, XPRESS.ca. Record Express. Store, scan, shred Canadian.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Oh, hi. I'd like to apply for a loan so I can consolidate some of my debts.
Sure. Do you own your home?
Yes. But Carl, our resident ghost, keeps saying it's his house and we should get out.
Okay. But you are the registered owner.
Yes.
Then you're approved.
Hey, hear that, Carl? Huh?
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
FSRA license 12616.
What's the difference between looking good and looking great? 2 words. Carpe diem. It's the new and reimagined men's clothing store on the Danforth, where a menswear expert will help you to find that extra oomph with your fashion. Where you'll find a one-stop men's shop while avoiding the mall crowd. Where you'll experience personalized service with excellent men's clothing and accessories from European and Canadian brands. And you'll be hearing a whole bunch of wow, only at Carpe Diem, 569 Danforth Avenue.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
And across the line goes Engvall. Tried to play it in front. They score!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
2-0 Toronto in Pittsburgh. Goals from Mitch Marner and Pontus Holmberg with his second. Face off to the right of Källgren. And after it in the corner goes Mark Giordano. Jake Gensel in there for the Penguins as well. It's played back in the net. Justin Hall after it. Grabbed by Austin Matthews. And he'll skate it out. Here comes Matthews to center. Onto the right side for Nylander. He'll stop. Turn back. Dumps it off in the corner for Matthews. Played back of the goal for Bunting. Around to Justin Hall. Hall into the corner Once again for bunting behind the net for Matthews. Raquel ties him up. Matthews got it in front to Nylander. He scores. William Nylander snaps it home on the feed from Austin Matthews. And William Nylander, with goals in back-to-back games, makes it 3-0 Toronto.
And they do it against the Crosby line. Michael Bunting does a great job in the forecheck as well, Bartz. As he gets some pressure in the corner to the right of the Pittsburgh net, funnels it behind the goal to Matthews. He out-battles his man. I think it's Raquel that he beats behind the net and just throws it to the top of the crease, and Willie Nylander is wide open. And Nylander snaps it blocker's side on Casey DeSmith, and the Leafs now have built a 3-0 lead, all while out shooting the Penguins 26-11 halfway through this game. How big was that called back, that quick whistle now?
2 goals in 55 seconds for Toronto as William Nylander now takes sole possession of 30th in the Maple Leafs history for goals, passing Borje Salming and Darcy Tucker with his 149th career goals. The puck is shoved to the Leafs net, and Källgren will cover it up.
Well, Mitch Marner, that's now 22 points in the last 16 games. A great work on the forecheck and great vision by Austin Matthews. He gets the puck out from behind the net, looks up and sees Nylander wide open. And Matthews still have the option, and this is what you like as he's going through this. It hasn't made him selfish. He's still looking to make plays, the best possible play to get it to the net. And he looked up and found Willie Nylander. He could have tried to sweep it around on a wraparound, but knew that Nylander was in better position.
Ryan Russ throws it in front of the Leaf net. It hopped away from Jason Zucker. Mulligan trying to get it out, and he's got to turn back inside his own blue line. There's Mulligan on the puck, and he'll drop it back. Mark Giordano. Pass up through center. That ends up all the way down the ice off the boards. Smith had to play it, and it is picked up by Joseph. There, Olivier Joseph, the center for Jason Zucker, couldn't handle it. Leafs have it back in their own end, and Mete will lift it to center. Caught off by Jason Zucker. He'll bring it over the line on the right side, and he's after it in the corner. Mete fell down. Danton Heinen over to help out as Aston Reese has got it pinned to the boards. Now it comes loose. Kenny Malkin back to the point. Letang shoots, and it's stopped by Källgren, and it goes to the corners. He got a piece of it. Puck cleared out at center and all the way back into the Penguin zone. Penguins lead the NHL in goals in the second period, but it is Toronto that's got the 2-0 advantage in period number 2 here tonight. Puck lifted high in the air to center, and Sandin will knock it down. Takes it inside his own line. Long pass up for Pierre Engvall. Engvall down the left wing with a shot that goes wide. Carter will clear it out. Sandin grabs it at the red line. He'll feed it right back ahead for Kerfoot, who's checked on the play by Joseph. Letang after it in the corner to the right of DeSmith, and it's fed back to the goal as Marcus Pettersson will throw it out to center. Brock McGinn played it in, and Liljegren is there. Leafs back on it. Holmberg will feed it into his own end. Now gets the pass from Sandin. Pontus Holmberg drops it off Engvall. Top of the circle right side. Pass across for Kerfoot. And he has to fire it around the boards as Justin Hall comes in for the point to get to it. Fed back to the net. Pettersson is there. Off for Letang, and the puck gets cleared. Now here's Bunting for Matthews. Try to go back to Bunting. Broken up at center ice. Gensel down the left wing with Justin Hall watching him. Gensel takes it to the corner, around the net, throws it out front, and it's ripped wide by Raquel. The puck skips off the boards to the side of the net, and Erik Källgren will cover it up and get a whistle, and he took exception to taking a few whacks at his hand there.
Well, Sidney Crosby maybe showing some frustration. Took 2 or 3 whacks at the glove hand of Källgren. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they start the season on the road 1-3-2. So they win just one of their first 6 games on the road. And have now won 4 straight games away from Scotiabank Arena. That started with wins in Carolina. Then, of course, in Pittsburgh, the last visit there was 5-2. And then New Jersey and Minnesota this week.
Face off to the right of Källgren. Leafs win the draw. Marner's got it on the right boards, and he'll throw it out at center. Trying to connect there with Jarnkrok. A little too far, and that'll be an icing call.
It being Sidney Crosby's been tearing it up of late as well. He had a goal against Philadelphia last night. But overall, in his last 6 games, 5 goals and 12 points coming in.
Tonight is Crosby's 50th career game against the Maple Leafs.
His numbers aren't bad either, are they?
No, 65 points in those 50 games, 29 of those being goals. And he's in the face-off here, and he wins it against Tavares to the right of Källgren. Back to the point. Letang moves to the middle, being watched by Marner. Throws it towards the net. It's knocked down. Petrie's got it in the corner. Jeff Petrie behind the net for Jake Gensel. Up high for top of the circle. A drive by Letang missed. And then it eludes Petrie, and he's got to hustle back after it. Marner getting chased all the way into the Pittsburgh zone into the corner. Hope loose as Letang is on top of Jarnkrok. Tavares trying to find the puck. John Tavares hit by Letang. It'll come free where Teddy Bluger will skate it out of the Penguin zone. Gets to the red line, and he'll lift it in. Bluger after it himself as Mété's on the rolling puck behind the net. Played it off for Hollowell around to Mété. He'll get it out. Malgin in front of the Pittsburgh bench, threw it into open ice at center. Nobody there to grab it for the Leafs. Now it's batted back to the Toronto line. Jarnkrok fighting for it. And it'll skip back for Hollowell. Goes behind his own net with Ryan Paling on him. Sends it up the right boards, and Jarnkrok tipped it out. Malgin knocked it into the Pittsburgh zone. Dennis Malgin finishes his check on Jan Ruda as Brian Doolin will clear it out. Penguins skip it down the ice.
Twice now, Matt Hollowell makes a smart play. Just chip it off the boards and get it out. There was some pressure coming from the Penguins. Doesn't try to do too much with it. Simple play.
Sandin in front of his own net. Left it for Liljegren. Now moves it up for Zach Aston Reese. He'll bounce it off the boards into the corner. Joseph after the puck. Joseph knocked down by Aston Reese. Dennis Malgin on it. Penalty coming up here.
Boy, there was a delay on that, wasn't there?
There was. As Pierre Lambert took an extra second to get the arm up, but it's a tripping call, and it will go against Zach Aston Reese. And the Penguins will go to the power play when we return with the Maple Leafs leading 3-0 with 4:36 to go in the second. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every year, fans debate over the draft. Who's going first? At Chuck's, they already know. The top draft choice is that icy cold 18-ounce Molson Canadian you're holding, and it's just $4 at Chuck's during Leafs games. No wonder that at draft time, Canadians are always in high demand. Chuck's Roadhouse Bar and Grill. Food the way it ought to be. Price the way it used to be.
Pavlov's dog proved that irresistible incentives bring predictable results. Now, Nick Pavlov, broker RE/MAX West, is proving it again. With perfect staging, pinpoint accurate pricing, intimate Toronto neighborhood knowledge, the Nick Pavlov real estate team will achieve a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
I'm Jamie. As an elementary school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover and succeed. Every child deserves access to high-quality, inclusive early childhood education and care because we know it creates a strong foundation for lifelong learning. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's KNOWMORE.ca. A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Just a reminder that John Tavares is still a Leaf. Johnny Torado! This is Maple Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Pittsburgh Penguins will get their second power play of the night here, and they'll have Sidney Crosby on the ice for this one.
Man, this is going to be huge as the Leafs hold it on to a 3-0 lead here late in the second period. I don't want to give Pittsburgh any kind of boost going to the dressing room. 4:36 to go, period number 2.
Leafs win the draw, but Brian Rust gets it back in the net, comes out front, hands it across to Crosby, ripped it wide from the right circle. Letang will hold the puck in at the left point. Slow rolling pass. Malkin down to Crosby on the half boards. Broken up by Marner. He'll lift it high in the air, and it's down the ice, and that'll force Casey DeSmith out of the net, and he'll set it up for Letang.
Boy, a little more backspin on that. You got a scoring chance.
Need to use the wedge instead of the 9-iron.
Yeah, little punch shot.
Yeah. Gensel feeds it back in the net. Got away from Rust. Here's Crosby in the corner. Hands it off of the point. Kenny Malkin walking in. Backhand pass across. Letang down to Crosby. Crosby backdoor feed for Malkin, and he missed it. He'll dive. Poke it to Letang, who dives. Knifes it across for Crosby. Skates it to the corner. Being watched by Bunting. Batted around the boards. Malkin is there on the left side. He'll take it down to the corner. Tries to go back to Crosby. It comes all the way to the right point. Brian Rust bats it to the line. Here's Gensel left side into the slot. Malkin tipped it, and that ends up deflecting back out at center for the Penguins. Letang at center ice with it. 49 seconds to go on the power play. He'll circle back. 3:20 remaining in period number 2. It's the Maple Leafs 3, the Penguins no score, and the puck is shot into the Pittsburgh bench.
Well, Leafs holding on to the 3-0 lead. It looks like the second unit's going to come over the boards for the Penguins. Now 42 seconds to go in the power play. 3:18 to go in the second period. 3 goals in a game. They made for comfort's sake. Want to hit that again here tonight.
Danton Heinen at the left point. Sends it to the right side. Pettersson moves to the middle. Being watched by Kerfoot. Hands it off. Raquel with a shot. Traffic in front, and it's knocked wide of the net. And the Leafs come up with it. They'll clear it down the ice with 18 seconds to go on the power play. Jeff Petrie will work it up for Raquel. He'll get to the Leafs line. Flipped across for Carter, and he's got it back out at center with it. Engvall watching him, and that'll force him all the way back into the Pittsburgh zone. Carter leaves the puck at center for Raquel. Aston Reese out of the box. The power play is over. Just one shot on man advantage for the Penguins. Now Pontus Holmberg will get it. He spins and fires it down the ice. It'll be an icing call against the Leafs. That might have been a thought that the power play wasn't over yet for Holmberg there.
And because it's the second period, the Leaf bench is at the other end of the rink, so he wouldn't have gotten any help there. It's pretty good. The Penguins had a couple of almost good scoring chances. Just unable to connect, and passes where it looked like they were able to find the lane to get it to the net.
Ball to the right of Shalgren. Leafs win it. Mete will get it around the boards. Held into the right point by Jan Ruda. In a battle with Zach Aston Reese. Now it comes out, and Gensel will feed it back for Joseph at his own line. Up the left side, Raquel tips it in. Crosby after in the corner, runs into Mete. Liljegren up onto the wing, and Holmberg will skate it out at center down the right side. Holmberg trying to hold off. Gensel takes it into the corner, feeds it back in the net. Aston Reese going after it. Joseph is there. So is Jan Ruda. Aston Reese back to the point. Here's Justin Hall in on the right side with a snapshot, and it's off a skate in front. Jan Ruda will lift it high in the air, and he clears it to center. Here's Hall in his own end. Laid it across for Sandin. Gets it back. Justin Hall up to center for Nylander, and he'll turn back to his own zone with Jason Zucker chasing him. Headed across on the wing, and it's dumped in. After it goes Bunting. Dropped it on the right boards. Nylander in the corner in front for Matthews. Got a piece of it. Stopped by DeSmith. Back the other way comes Zucker. He's on his own. Trying to get by Sandin on the left side. Takes it in the corner. Now check. Kenny Malkin comes in to help out. Zucker got it back to the point. Brian Dumoulin with a shot. Blocked in front. Malkin's got it. Hands it off on a one-time drive by Pettersson. Kicked out by the right pad of Shalgren. Leafs get it back to the Penguin zone, and Pettersson will send it behind his own net. Dumoulin lost his footing. Austin Matthews coming in trying to knock it loose. Well, the Penguins are on it. They'll clear it to center. Marner picks it up, and he'll skip it back in wide of the Penguins net. Pettersson around for Dumoulin in the corner. Floats it out to center. Stopped there by Yarncroke, and he'll feed it back for Liljegren. 35 seconds to go here in the second period. Marner up ahead, and it's Yarncroke in on the left side. Snapshot off the mask of DeSmith. Driving the net was Tavares for the rebound. Couldn't get to it. Liljegren pokes it back to the Pittsburgh line. Paling will hand it off for Dumoulin. And Bluger tried to get it in, but it ends up being an offside with Archibald ahead of the play.
Well, you just mentioned Ryan Paling. I know Joe and I have brought it up the previous 2 games that the Penguins played the Leafs, but his NHL debut was against Toronto as a member of the Montreal Canadiens. His first NHL game, scores 3 goals in the shootout winner. It becomes one of very few players to score 3 goals in their NHL debut. Of course, Matthews has the NHL record of 4 in a debut. Kaelin actually picked up a couple of goals against Philadelphia last night. One of them coming from behind the net that Carter Hart had going off his stick.
5 seconds to go in the period, and a big hit at center ice there as the puck comes back for Raquel, and he runs out of time and has nowhere to go with it.
Then Aston Reese that got drilled. Maybe right at center ice. It's hard to tell on the far side, but the Leafs 1-0 lead after one. They add to it here in the second period. And Pontus Holmberg, how about that? First NHL point in Pittsburgh. Last time the Leafs were in, this time as second.
Through 40 minutes of play in Pittsburgh. Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick coming up in our second intermission. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Black Friday is on now at Mark's. From November 24th to 30th, save up to 70% off in-store and online. Great savings with new offers on hikers, fleece, jackets, and more. Visit Mark's in-store or at marks.com to shop and save.
Celebrating Canada Soccer, presented by Access Storage. Here's Alistair Johnston telling us about Canada Soccer's men's national team.
We try to embody you. We're a hardworking group. We're a group that, has been overlooked for a long time, but we're extremely talented, extremely hardworking, and that we want to be a group that you guys can be proud to watch and feel like represent you in the best possible way.
Celebrating Canada Soccer, presented.
Drinking purified water from Reliance Home Comfort. With over 70,000 five-star user reviews on Google nationally, trust us to purify your water. Our dedicated experts will assess your needs and recommend the best option for pure and better tasting water. And right now, for a limited time, you could save $250 off a water purification system. So if you're concerned with your home's water, call on Reliance. Conditions apply. Savings off regular price. See website for details.
Right now at TSC.ca, shop Black Friday and Cyber Monday offers. Get up to 70% off your favorite items during our biggest sale of the year. And enjoy flexible, interest-free easy pay payments on amazing products. Shop now and save on the brands you love, like Dyson, Apple, KitchenAid, Breville, and more. With Black Friday and Cyber Monday offers at TSC.ca. Today's shopping choice.
Whatever you're trying to get, whoever you're trying to get, make your play with Kalani Jewelry, the official luxury jeweler of the Toronto Raptors. From custom pendants to diamond rings, our jewelry covers all occasions. We make them for champions all around the world. Let's make one for you.
Make your play with Kalani Jewelry, the official luxury jeweler of the Toronto Raptors. Look up Kalani Jewelry, Kilani.
If you can dream it, we can make it.
Black Friday at the Mobile Shop is calling. Get up to $300 in PC Optimum points on the latest phones. Hurry, offer ends November 28th. Find us in superstores or at themobileshop.ca. On select phones and plans, subject to credit approval, conditions apply.
439 Pizza Nova. 439 Pizza Nova.
Satisfy your sandwich cravings with our veal or chicken ciabatta sandwiches. Lightly breaded cutlets covered in our home-style tomato sauce and toasted to perfection. Ciao, I'm Dominic Primucci, inviting you to try them today and taste the difference.
439 Pizza Nova. 439 Pizza Nova.
It's finally here. Visions Electronics' legendary Black Friday sale is on now. All your favorite brands are on sale at the lowest prices in Canada, guaranteed. TVs, home audio, appliances and headphones, car audio to car starters, laptops, and more. Plus, you save even more when you pick up in store and pay no interest and make no payments until 2024. The legendary Black Friday sale is on right now at Visions Electronics. See all the deals at visions.ca.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Justin Hall in front of the net. He read the clock perfectly.
On Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
All into the corner. Once again for Bunting behind the net for Matthews. Raquel ties him up. Matthews got it in front to Nylander. He scores. William Nylander snaps it home.
Right for Austin Matthews, William Nylander with the goal there. John Bartlett on the call, filling in for our buddy Joe Bowen tonight. Marner, Holmberg, and Nylander are the Leafs goal scorers. They are up 3-0 on the Penguins after 40 minutes. Gord, Penguins definitely showed a little more fight. You know, a couple power plays will help you do that, and score effects are bound to kind of push the play one way. But I thought another pretty good period from the Leafs.
Yeah, it really was. I don't remember many chances on Erik Källgren. I thought there were more in the first period for the Penguins, but boy, just it's funny. Austin Matthews, we kidded about it. You just said that, but coming back in, he's decided he's going to take Mitch Marner's role this year.
He liked Joe Thornton so much. He's like, this guy has so much fun passing the puck. I'm going to do that instead.
Well, the Joe Thornton before he came to Toronto.
Right,
and I did like Joe Thornton too, but yes. And the Matt Barzal, like he was going at one point this year, but he did get some goals now to go with his assists. So he's a setup guy. And again, a solid. It's never boring to say. Same old. Another excellent road period by the Toronto Maple Leafs. We've been saying that all of late. And they have the 3-0 lead, outshooting Pittsburgh 27-15. And point being, it's really full value. Full value for the Maple Leaf effort tonight. You're getting all of a sudden this depth. And I'm talking more up in the forward lines. Depth we know because on the D you've got to have because of all the injuries. But just the forward line, it's not like one stack line, being the difference makers and other threes, just carrying the freight. It's everybody chipping in, everyone being noticed.
Yeah, it really is. And, you can start up top. We talk about Matthews there. Nylander gets the goal. Marner's been, I'm sure people could quibble with this, but how many periods in a row could you say this guy's been the best Leaf? Like, he is just playing some incredible hockey right now. It's exactly what you want to see. This is what is always promised when you get the big ticket deal and you are the first line all-star for right wing NHL all-star back-to-back seasons. This is the guy you're supposed to be. He's just been incredible. He gets the goal to open the game. He makes a great play, and it's not the Marner magic we think of, but just a great hard work play to win a puck battle. Now, albeit off of a terrible turnover, but he wins the puck battle there, gets the puck to Holmberg in the slot. So I just, it's not breaking any news here telling you Mitch Marner's good, but we got to give him credit for just how tremendous he's been.
Yeah, and going back to the first period, he scores 40 seconds in the game. Bad line change by the Penguins. When things go great, you get that soft goal against Marc-Andre Fleury of Minnesota. You get the 3 disallowed goals against the Jersey Devils.
behind Källgren there.
Yeah, a sure tap in, and Kelly Sutherland, the referee, couldn't see it, blew the whistle. Penguin fans disagreed heartily, which they have a right to, and they weren't wrong, but he did not. He lost sight of the puck from his particular angle. And then to your point, this particular goal, yeah, I mean, Chris Letang, first of all, what a terrible pass to him. And then it wasn't close. Like, he was the wrong guy to pass it to by the Penguin player. And good on Marner, just being the opportunist. And here we are, 3-0. Now, again, what happened today in New York was the New York Rangers had a 3-0 lead over the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton scored 4 third-period goals.
It's not like the Penguins have a Canadian wonder kid. Oh, wait, they do.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, so that's what we have to guard against, that kind of thing from keeping this fun times going for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And second period, Sidney Crosby did not disappear in the dressing room like he did twice in the first period. Hope to hear something post-game exactly. Was it like what kind of equipment issue caused him to miss like a third of a period, including the first power play that the Pittsburgh Penguins got?
If he was a little funnier, and we can't all be good at everything. I don't know that I've ever heard Sidney Crosby crack a great joke. He would make a spicy pork and broccoli joke. In honor
like Louis Domingue did.
He would do that, but I think he probably won't, and he'll just be upset.
Well, that one's taken.
That's true. But the thing is, with a guy like Crosby is, and he could tell any joke, and the room full of us media guys are laughing at him there. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. Hopefully, Sidney Crosby. He's been a little ornery in this one. Hopefully, he's still in a bad mood after the last 20 minutes. Yeah. You noticed this as well.
And also, I don't know. See, Tom will know this. If he's a distant relative to marginal comic Norm Crosby. What do you think? Yes. Is that his great-grandfather? I don't know. So we'll find out post-game.
There you go. That
marginal comic, by the way.
Very marginal. That is Gord Stellick. Not marginal. This Brent Gunning, back to marginal. Leafs are up 3-0 after 40 minutes in Pittsburgh. Marner, Holmberg, and Nylander are your goal scorers. Erik Källgren standing tall for the Leafs. We will have a little bit more of the second intermission. We continue here on Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
I'm Johnny. As a high school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover and succeed. Quality in-person learning is essential to student success and well-being, as it provides children with the best opportunities to learn, practice, and grow. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's knowmore.ca.
A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Hi, I'm Hugh Heron, Chairman of Heathwood Homes. Tradition means a lot to us. Our reputation for quality, service, and customer care are all part of Heathwood's tradition, and that has made us the most successful new home builder. Thousands of people are now proud to be living in a Heathwood home in one of our many outstanding communities, and you can too. Visit heathwood.com to learn all about our fabulous communities. With Heathwood, you'll be home at last.
We're two men and a truck. And we've got lots of men and lots of trucks. Whether you're planning a move to a new home or to a new office down the hall, big or small, we move them all. We even sell packing and moving supplies. But no matter what you need, we'll do it with movers who care.
Some ice dancing pairs synchronize their breathing to perform as one, the same way a Subaru synchronizes with you. Imagine your phone syncs, your playlist plays, your heart races as you feel the full-time traction. Here you are, moving gracefully as one, making every turn seem so effortless. Left turn signal, right turn signal. Look at you, smiling like a gold medalist. Visit your local Subaru dealer and really own winter with uncommon synchronicity.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is you. But to get an honest day's work, you need a callback. You need a job. Express Employment Professionals can help. We'll connect you to the right company. We're committed to your success and never charge a fee to find you a job. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Find your location at expresspros.com or on the Express Jobs app.
Pavlov's dog proved the power of predictable results. And for that, Ivan Pavlov received the Nobel Prize. Now Nick Pavlov, broker RE/MAX West, also receives awards, also for predictable results. So have the award-winning Nick Pavlov real estate team provide a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Loose puck from they score! Rasmus Sandin coming in from the left point.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick here with you for the second intermission. Leafs up 3-0 on the Penguins after 40 minutes. Marner, Holmberg, and Nylander are your goal scorers there. The 6th of the season for Marner, 12th of the year for Nylander, and the 2nd for Pontus Holmberg. We always like to take a look around the NHL. The NHL scoreboard brought to you by Bet365. With Bet365, you can bet on things like player props, totals, or game outcomes across many different sports. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Gordo, what do we got going on the ice?
Couple finals earlier that Calgary loses 3-2 to the Carolina Hurricanes. Edmonton down 3-0, score 4 third-period goals, beat the New York Rangers 4-3. How about this one? St. Louis has scored 3 goals to even it up with the Florida Panthers. Florida was up 4-1. Now it's a 4-4 tie. 30 seconds left in regulation. New Jersey 3-0 lead with early in the third over Washington. 2-2 tie in the second between the Philadelphia Flyers and the New York Islanders. Dallas, Colorado just getting underway now. In 1 hour's time, Vancouver and Vegas. Not the busiest of Saturday nights because we had a very busy Wednesday and a very busy Friday, which befits the usual American Thanksgiving schedule.
Yeah, tryptophan and turkey in the system down there in the States for sure. A little bit of a sleepier slate than we're used to, but the Leafs certainly not looking sleepy at all. If they keep playing the way they've played, I would imagine this game will go very well for them. Just another really responsible period of hockey for the Leafs. Gordo, I imagine just do more of the same and you'll walk away with a pretty good result here in the third.
Ho-hum, another solid road period. One more to follow the previous two. Yeah, 3-0 lead in Pittsburgh, outshooting them, outplaying them, just outbreaking them, out everything them, just Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
And I will say, Eric Kallgren done a pretty good job so far. Might want to just put a leash on him next to the post. He gets a little wandery at times, and with a 3-0 game,
stay put.
Maybe just stay put. We will do that exact thing. Gord Stellick and Brent Gunning. We will stay right here and be back after the game. John Bartlett and Jim Ralph have the call of the third from Pittsburgh. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Make sure that your business documents are for your recipient's eyes and no one else's. Trust Record Express for industry-leading standards in secure storage, scanning, and shredding. With fast, same-day service, flexible contract terms, and all the support you need to safeguard your confidential information. Visit recordexpress.ca today for document storage and shredding special offers. That's Record, XPRESS.ca. Record Express. Store, scan, shred Canadian.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Hi, I need to realign my chakras, and I think consolidating my debts into one easy payment would really help. I'd like a loan.
Do you own your home?
Yes.
Then you're approved.
Namaste.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
FSRA license 12616.
Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with tools to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 310-DELL.
We can dance if you want to.
Add some rhythm to your mornings with the McDonald's Egg BLT McMuffin or the Chicken BLT McMuffin. Available until 11 a.m. for a limited time. With the BLT McMuffin sandwiches, it's easy to start your day off right at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
What the world needs now is more than a vacation. We need to come back to feeling our best selves again. Back to inviting. Back to loving. Back to life. Back to the little bit of Jamaica that's inside all of us. Come back to being lively again. Back to laid back. So call your travel agent or go to visitjamaica.com and come back to the vibe that comes alive in Jamaica.
Morgan Riley makes us smiley.
And again, it is Morgan Riley.
This is Maple Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
3-0, the Maple Leafs leading the Pittsburgh Penguins with period number 3 on the horizon from the PPG Paints Arena. John Bartlett in for Joe Bowen tonight alongside Jim Ralph, and this has been a good game for the Maple Leafs so far. In that second period, we talked about it. Penguins lead the NHL in goals in the second period, but it's the Leafs that outscored them 2-0 in that period and controlled the game with 2 goals in 55 seconds.
Take a 3-0 lead into the third. And by the way, the Penguins this year, this is the 6th time they have trailed after 40 minutes of play. They're 0-5. In the previous 5 matches, the Leafs 8-0-3 when taking the lead into the third period. And it's going to be a big third period for Eric Kallgren as well. You remember the game against the New York Islanders at home? He was brilliant throughout the game, but late gives the puck away behind his own net. Islanders score to tie it and go on to win in overtime. Kallgren, by the way, has lost 4 of the 5 games that the Leafs have lost in overtime. Eric Kallgren has lost 4 of them. And his NHL debut was actually in relief. He went into a game and ended up losing in overtime. So the Leafs 20 minutes away from starting this road trip in perfect fashion.
4-0 on the road in the month of November. 8-1-3 overall in the month. It's been a good month for Toronto.
There's so many things that you can't explain. I know Sheldon Keefe was asked today before the game, how do you explain, you had a great November last year after a tough October. How do you explain it? And like Sheldon Keefe said, every year is different. He said this year, we've got different goaltenders. Goaltenders have been hurt. Defensemen have been hurt. So it's really difficult to compare one year to the other as to why you'd have success in a particular. Was it? No, it looks like Mark Giordano's going to go.
59
we saw the wrong guy going to the wrong place. So it is Gensel. You just thought the Leafs fired it in, and as soon as Pittsburgh touched it, the whistle went. Mike Sullivan's not going to like this. This is, now this is a flash where, again, it was Gensel's stick that broke, not Justin Hall's stick. And Mike Sullivan isn't thrilled with that one, but that's very similar to the Alex Kerfoot penalty yesterday.
Third power play of the night for Toronto. Face off to the right of DeSmith, and the Leafs win the draw. Matthews got it back to the point. Sandin right side for Nylander. Nylander turns back at the blue line, hands it off for Sandin. Down to the dot and tight for Marner, and he tried to center it for Tavares, tipped it to the corner. Leafs have had 5 of their shots in the power play tonight. Brock McGinn's got it in the corner, and he'll send it all the way down the ice. Right on net, Shalgren is going to play it. And he flips it up for Marner, who curls back in his own end with it.
Leafs defense have really got to be aware of Pittsburgh trying a shorthanded rush down 3 goals.
There's Tavares in on the left side with it. Swings it back to the point. Sandin right side for Nylander. Nylander down to the half boards, drops it back to the point. Rasmus Sandin hands it up for William Nylander. Takes the shot and it goes over the net. Batted back towards the goal by Marner. Steered away by DeSmith. And the Penguins come up with it and clear it all the way down the ice.
And Leafs third power play of the night, but again, the first one was so much better, sharper than what we've seen since.
Here's Dennis Mulligan across for Pierre Engvall. Got caught up there at the blue line, couldn't get it in, and Pittsburgh forces it back. Giordano on it in his own end. Brock McGinn sticks with him. Giordano hands it off for Engvall. Now Bunting carries it up to center. Tried to pass across for Mulligan. It was broken up by the stick of Bluger. Engvall will lift it in. 28 seconds to go in the power play. Pedersen fired it around the boards. Toronto can't keep it in. That puck will come out to center again, and Giordano backs up with it. Being watched by McGinn. He'll slide it across for Justin Hall. Now gives it back to Giordano right in front of Shalgren. Now Hall with it. Out of his own zone and up to center. Went to dump it in. Had a stick check by Ryan Palin. Hall goes after it back of the Pittsburgh net. He's bumped on the play by Josh Archibald. Jan Ruda up with a puck, and he will clear it down the ice. Out of the net comes Shalgren. He'll wrap it around the glass. Now it comes loose in the corner. Archibald throws it around to the left point. Brian Dumoulin fires. Knocked away by the glove of Shalgren. Jan Ruda trying to get it towards the net. And off the skate in front. Sidney Crosby on it in the corner to the right of Shalgren. David Kemp will kick it free. And it is cleared out by Toronto. A race for it here back in the Penguin zone as Rickard Rakell is on it first. He'll move it up for Jan Ruda. Pass ahead. Crosby tipped it in. Matthews hands it off for Liljegren. Up to center. Broken up by Joseph. Played back for Crosby, and he'll backpedal inside his own line with it. Sidney Crosby works it into the Leaf zone for Rickard Rakell. Rakell with a backhand. Ends up on the right half boards for Gensel. Jump behind the goal for Crosby. Takes him in the corner. He'll feed the right point. Letang hands it off. Joseph with a high shot that missed. Off the glass, back of the net. Puck is free at the side of the goal, and Shalgren puts a glove on it to cover it up.
And you wouldn't mind if Eric Shalgren does this 25 times here in the third period. Slow the game down, keep the fans out of it, keep the momentum for the Penguins. Does a pretty good job of tracking that off the boards. I mean, it was a redirection over his right shoulder, off the glass, then back out on his glove side, and he was able to track it, get his glove on it. A lot of times if goaltenders come out, they just butterfly and try to close everything in. They don't follow the puck once they get past the goal line. And Shalgren did a great job of following that. Small thing, but could have been disastrous if he doesn't find it.
Face off to the left of Shalgren. Leafs win the draw. Hall behind his own net. Up onto the wing from Marner. He'll get to center and dump it in. Trying to track it down is Tavares, but Letang has got it. Worked it up to the point, and that pass got away from Rust, who fell inside his own zone trying to play it. 3.5 minutes gone here in the third. Toronto leading it 3-0. Letang up to the line, and that's an offside against the Penguins.
As mentioned, Letang, Malkin, Crosby, 17 seasons together, the last 16 of which they've made the playoffs. 16 straight postseason appearances. That included cups in 2009 and then back-to-back cups in 2016 and 2017.
Mete will feed it across, and it's dumped down into the Pittsburgh zone. Anders Holmberg goes after it as Petrie tried to chop it away. Now picked up by Evgeny Malkin. He'll hand it off. Zucker to Rust, tips it. Malkin cutting his way in, going to the net, drives the goal. Got the shot away, and it's kicked out by the left pad of Källgren. Pettersson to center for Brian Rust. Can't get it past the foot of Kerfoot. Now the Leafs regroup on their own end as Mete will feed it up through center. Holmberg deflects it into the Penguin zone. Engvall steers it on net. Played aside by DeSmith. Pettersson on the boards with it. Kerfoot took it away. Got it down on the goal line for Engvall. Engvall checked by Pettersson. Up to the half boards. Trying to get the pass across for Holmberg. It was in tight. His shot doesn't get through. Pittsburgh will clear it. As Sandin has got it back in his own end. He'll lift it out at center. Jan Ruda, front of the penalty box, will fire it in around the boards. Brings all the way around, then is forced back to the near side as Heinen tried to catch up to it. Deflected out by Dennis Malgin. Then Heinen collides with Dumoulin. That allows Zach Aston Reese along the left wing to snap it on net, and DeSmith made the stop.
Boy, it didn't. Heinen, I think, was laboring. I don't know if he was still down on the ice when the Leafs fired it towards the Pittsburgh goal. Heinen very, very slow to get up. And as the Leafs holding on to the 3-0 lead, Sidney Crosby left the bench a couple of times in the first period, but seems to have been fine since then. And as we mentioned, the Pittsburgh Penguins came into this game 100% healthy. Nobody on the IR.
Draw one by Bluger to the right of the Penguins' net, and they'll clear it out at center. Sandin tried to stop it, but it is picked up and dumped into the corner as Ryan Poehling goes after it. Sent around for Liljegren. Dumoulin there. He'll tip it back to left point. Archibald up with it. Fires, and Källgren kicked it aside. Down at the right point, Jan Ruda. Got it down low for Poehling. Bluger up high for Ruda. Across to Dumoulin. Snapshot towards the net. Comes off the backboard. Paddled away by Källgren to the corner. Ryan Poehling on it. He'll move it for Archibald. Knocked away, and it's cleared out by Toronto. Zach Aston Reese has got it at center. Down the right wing, will slide it past Jan Ruda. Two of them go back to the Pittsburgh net, trying to battle for the puck. Reese then, Aston Reese knocks down Bluger. Here's Hall with a shot, tipped on the way to the net. DeSmith to save, he's down, and he's got the puck underneath him. As he had William Nylander right on top of him on the crease and had to make sure he had the puck.
Teddy Bluger gets Nylander in a pretty good headlock to the left of the Pittsburgh goaltender, but like this from Justin Hall, just lob it towards the net. It was actually Austin Matthews that knocked it down. It was about a knee-high shot, and Matthews knocked it down and has rattled around in front of Casey DeSmith, and William Nylander very nearly was able to jump on a loose puck.
Face off to the left of the Penguins' net. Matthews won the draw, bats it onto the boards. Joseph had Bunting all tied up. He'll feed it back for Letang, back of the goal, and he'll go up the boards and out on the right side. Cut off at center. As the Leafs pushed it back into late offside, though, and Letang has got it. Chris Letang will carry it in, and he snaps it towards the net. Ends up in the corner. And Toronto works it out at center as Bunting has got it. Hands it off for Austin Matthews. Matthews down low behind the goal for Nylander. Bunting came in to help out. Joseph's got it. He'll swing it around, and that comes out at center. Matthews takes it back. Now it's Hollowell. Out for Nylander off his foot. Penguins on the puck again as Petrie's got it in his own zone. Lays it up for Rust. Got to the red line. Couldn't get the puck into the Leaf zone. John Tavares with it. He'll gain the red line and lift it in. Goes after it. Poked it away from Petrie. Ryan Rust is there. Back into the corner, but Pettersson will slide it behind his own net. Petrie, long feed up on the left wing and played down in the Leaf zone as Källgren's out of the net. He'll flip it into the corner. Broken up as Brian Rust has got it. Sent to the point. Pettersson onto the right half boards for Petrie. Backs up as he feeds it off for Malkin. Malkin left it to Petrie. Into the corner, Zucker back in the slot. Petrie bouncing puck, settles it down, can't get a shot. Yarncroke was on him from the line. Getting Malkin a shot, and that's kicked out by Källgren. And now it's tipped away, and here comes Calle Yarncroke. Down the left wing, Petrie back on him. He'll hit the brakes and dumps it off to the right corner. Tavares is there. Dropped it back, and Malkin comes up with a puck. Then he can't get by Yarncroke. And he's forced to bat it back into his own end.
Boy, the Leafs have been so good, relentless. Whenever the Penguins have the puck, seems like Pittsburgh gets swarmed immediately, and the Leafs have been able to get it back.
Kerfoot tracks it down in the Pittsburgh zone, and he'll swing it around the boards. Danton Heinen can't clear it. Pontus Holmberg will come up with it. Played it back of the net for Kerfoot. He looks out front. Kerfoot waiting with it. Goes off the boards to the point. Hall over the left side for Rasmus Sandin. Shot goes wide. Engvall trying to catch up to it. Holmberg feeds it back to the point once more. Sandin down for Engvall. Back across to the left point. Sandin dumps it behind the net. Engvall's got it now. Pierre Engvall up high for Kerfoot. Checked by Heinen. Then Kerfoot knocked down from the line. Justin Hall's shot is stopped. Jan Ruda at center ice. Will play it into the Leaf zone. The Penguins complete a change. Now along the boards, Gensel trying to find it. Sandin has got it. Hands it off for Kemp through center. David Kemp. Cross ice pass. Malkin in with a high shot. Punched away by the blocker of DeSmith. Letang after the puck in his own end. Kemp right on him. It's under 11 minutes to go in the third. It's Toronto 3, Pittsburgh no score. Justin Hall will move it ahead, and that one got away from the stick of Malkin. Now he's got it back. Zach Aston reads it alone. Fires on net, and it's stopped by Casey DeSmith. A stick that's sitting on the ice inside the blue line created an opportunity, and now a drive from the point as Casey DeSmith makes a stop, and he'll hold on.
And the Pittsburgh player that fell was Chris Letang, skating backwards. He just turned, stepped on the stick and fell, and then David Kemp a little pass to Zach Aston Reese, and the Leafs are off on a pretty good scoring chance.
10:35 to go in the third. It's Toronto 3, the Penguins no score on Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hi, it's Fido. Are you ready for Black Friday deals? Because we got some incredible offers on select phones and plans, so you can score your favorites at their most affordable. Select plans even include data overage protection, so you can be data confident. Wait, is that true?
Yeah. Where are you going?
I'm going to Fido to get a Black Friday deal.
Can you finish the ad first?
Go to Fido.ca or a Fido store now. Fido, at your side.
The Bay's Black Friday sale is on now, with savings of up to 60% off, including clearance. Get amazing deals on all your favorite brands, like Free People, Mango, Sorel, Blendtec, Dior fragrances, and more. Plus, new offers are dropping every day, and they only last 24 hours. So head over to your local Hudson's Bay store or thebay.com so you don't miss out. Get ahead of your holiday shopping with offers on hundreds of brands at the Bay's Black Friday sale. Exclusions and conditions apply.
Hi, it's Catherine from Great Canadian Meat. A lot of people ask, what's so great about Great Canadian Meat? Well, it tastes great for one. Just read our customer reviews. Ray says our meat is pure magic. And Nick says very impressed and even more happy to be supporting a local company. It's great because it's Canadian. Or as Madeline says, this truly is a great Canadian meat company. Tell us what you think. You can buy our Great Canadian Meat at greatcanadianmeat.com.
The next best thing to being at the game and a little more affordable. Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
10.5 minutes to go in the third, and Pittsburgh Maple Leafs leading it 3-0, outshooting the Penguins 36-21 in the game and 9-6 in the third period. Puck played up the right boards in the Penguin zone, and Austin Matthews will hold it in the high slot. Can't get it to net. Now it is bounced out in the air, and Archibald will fight it into the Leaf zone. Dropped it back for Bluger. Knocked down by Hall. Goes to the left point. Here's Joseph. Sidesteps Nylander. Got the shot towards the net and missed. And Källgren didn't see it. Didn't react until it hit the glass. Well, Paling can't hold it in. It's cleared out. Sent back in, and Hall has got it for Toronto. There's Hall. Long feed through center, and that one got away from the skate of Marner, and that will be an icing call against the Leafs.
Well, Marner thought that was for him because it looked like he deliberately let it go, maybe thinking somebody was cutting behind him. which is rare because usually Mitch Marner knows exactly where everybody is on the ice. 9:50 to go. So at least 1-0 after the first period. Mitch Marner scored just 40 seconds after the opening face-off. Leafs added a couple in the second period. And Eric Källgren, I still think Källgren's greatest moments, Bartz, came in the first 5 or 6 minutes of this game, where he made some outstanding saves. Even though the Leafs had opened the scoring early, Källgren did not give the Penguins an opportunity to even things up.
Face off to the right of Källgren. Puck goes along the boards. Rust is there. Went to go back to the point for Dumoulin, and it got away from him all the way down the ice. And Smith was forced to come out of the goal and set it up for Brian Dumoulin.
They had a lot of shots here in the third period. 9-7 Toronto. And we're just past the midway mark of the third.
Now Malkin will give it back for Dumoulin. Goes to dump it in and went off the stick of Tavares, and he goes to the bench because that broke his stick. Sandin will feed it back to the goal. Liljegren up onto the wing, and it's tipped out. As Rust has to go back and get in his own end. Plays it off for Jan Ruda. Ruda up through center, down the right side. Flips it by Sandin into the corner. Mete will knock it around, and Kerfoot gets it out. Pontus Holmberg with it. Holmberg down the wing. Knocks it back at the Penguins' goal. Jason Zucker on it. Had it poked away by Pierre Engvall. And Engvall gets knocked down in the corner. Kerfoot fights for it. Malkin trying to get it by Holmberg, and he'll get it out to center ice as Kerfoot circles back with it. Letang on the puck. Chris Letang trying to shake off Pierre Engvall in his own zone. Now he'll clear it to center, and it's picked up on the right side. Gensel into the Leafs zone. Hits the brakes on the half board. Feeds it to the goal, and Rakell scores. Rakell got it in tight, and a quick shot is under the crossbar and in, and the Penguins are on the board with 8:22 to go in the third.
And this really looks like a nothing play. It seems like everybody's got their guy. But then the Leafs double-team the puck as Pierre Engvall, who had Rakell moments earlier, but he goes after the puck as well. Victor Mete was already there. So they had double coverage on the puck carrier, but that left Rakell wide open going into the net, and he picks it up in the right wing circle and just snaps it past Källgren. And the Penguins are back in it.
9th of the year for Rickard Rakell. Gensel and Crosby on the assists. And now Crosby's got it on the right half boards. Sidney Crosby waiting with the puck. Skates it to the point. Bends it over. Gets it back from Pettersson. Now feeds it off. And Letang has got it. In tight, Crosby centered for Rakell. Just jumped over his stick in front of the net. Kemp has got it. He'll clear it out. And Letang with a big hit at center ice as the puck ends up back behind the net. To Smith is on it. Letang will skate it up to center himself. Flipped it to the Leaf line. Matthews is on it. Forward pass for William Nylander. Snaps it on net from the right circle, and it's stopped by the Smith. Brock McKinn up with the puck. Now it's dumped in. Källgren will move it into the corner. Got away from Danton Heinen. At the point, Joseph holds the line. Into the forecheck as Jeff Carter runs into Sandin. He'll get back up, moves the puck ahead, and then Austin Matthews gets knocked down. And Danton Heinen trying to play. No call on the play. As Bunting will chase after a loose puck in the Penguin zone. Tied up with Joseph. Trying to get the pass in front, but it's into the skates of Malkin. Evgeny Malkin takes off with it. Got it across for Danton Heinen. Leafs get it back in their own end, and Marner stops. And he'll take a second now. Takes off with a puck, skates it up over the red line, hits the Pittsburgh line, trying to go to the net to get a shot. He'll eventually roll it to the goal, and Smith will cover it up and hold on as a traffic jam goes to the net, and it's a pile up there beside Smith. Rickard Rakell has the goal for the Penguins. They're on the board. It's 3-1 Toronto with 6:35 to go in the third on Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Some ice dancing pairs synchronize their breathing to perform as one. the same way a Subaru synchronizes with you. Imagine your phone syncs, your playlist plays, your heart races as you feel the full-time traction. Here you are, moving gracefully as one, making every turn seem so effortless. Left turn signal, right turn signal. Look at you, smiling like a gold medalist. Visit your local Subaru dealer and really own winter with uncommon synchronicity.
I'm Jamie. As an elementary school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover and thrive. They need more student supports, like special education resources, mental health services, and extra literacy assistance to realize their full potential. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's KNOWMORE.ca. A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Pavlov's dog proved that irresistible incentives bring predictable results. Now, Nick Pavlov, broker RE/MAX West, is proving it again. With perfect staging, pinpoint accurate pricing, intimate Toronto neighborhood knowledge, the Nick Pavlov real estate team will achieve a predictable result for you. Your home, sold for the asking price or more, as soon as 7 days or less. You must be salivating at that. Nick Pavlov makes it happen.
Austin Matthews scored 60 last year. This year, he's given 110% more. So that's like 126 goals. Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
A Ricard Raquel goal has Pittsburgh on the board here with 6:35 remaining in the third, and Toronto up by 2.
And Shelgren has been solid. We didn't want to say anything, obviously, about a shutout here in the third period, but his very first NHL start was his only NHL shutout. As we said, his first NHL, or his NHL is not his first debut. I guess it was.
His first debut?
Yeah, his first debut, as opposed to his second.
No.
But came into a game midway. Ended up the team got to overtime before losing in overtime. And unfortunately, I mean, that's how his career starts. And out of the 5 games that the Leafs have lost in overtime this year, unfortunately, Shelgren has been in goal for 4 of them. But it was his first start against Dallas a couple nights later that put him into some unique company. Remember, Garrett Sparks did that with the Leafs. His first NHL start against Edmonton.
Mark Giordano on the puck in the corner in his own zone. Lifts it high up in the air. Grabbed by Tavares. Worked into the Penguin zone. Yarncroke will send it back in the net. Picked off by Letang. Now it's Raquel with it. And no doubt we will see a lot of the big line here in the final 6 minutes for the Penguins. Puck played into the Leaf end, and Justin Hall is there. He'll give it off for Mark Giordano. Takes his time with it. Now Giordano hits it out of his zone. Plays it back for Hall. Loose puck at center ice, and it's Zucker that feeds it up for Malkin. Got it across for Rust, out of his reach. Bunting will take off. And here comes Bunting down the right side into the Penguin zone. He fell, but he slides it in front. Great play. Matthews scores! What a play by Bunting to set it up for Austin Matthews in the slot. He snaps it home past the blocker to Smith, and it's a 4-1 Toronto lead.
3-point night for Austin Matthews. He had 2 great setups on goals by Marner and Nylander earlier. This time it's Michael Bunting, who takes on a couple of Penguins in the right wing boards, pulls up, stops, falls. But with 3 Penguins converging, he's able to sweep it towards the front of the net where Austin Matthews was wide open. Matthews had to scamper out to the hash marks to get it, and went from backhand onto his forehand, took a look, and snaps it past Casey to Smith, blocker side, and the Leafs have a 3-goal lead right back.
That play was all Bunting to set that goal up. What a fabulous effort from Michael Bunting.
A pretty good assist by Matthews in this game before being the recipient there. And Bunting, we said, had 2 goals and an assist in their last game in Pittsburgh. And Bunting with, what's he got in this one? Just the one. That'll be 2 assists for Michael Bunting in this one. So pretty good arena for Michael Bunting to play in.
4:58 to go in the third. It's Toronto 4, Pittsburgh 1 on Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Finding a job in today's market can be a challenge. Whether you're looking for work or wanting to change your career direction, JVS Toronto will help you get the right job. Together with JVS Toronto employment experts, you'll explore new job options, create a strong resume, build an appealing online profile, prepare for job interviews, and connect with employers, all for free. Your job is waiting for you. JVS Toronto will help you find it. Get started today. For more information, visit jvstoronto.org.
Make sure that your business documents are for your recipient's eyes and no one else's. Trust Record Express for industry-leading standards in secure storage, scanning, and shredding. With fast, same-day service, flexible contract terms, and all the support you need to safeguard your confidential information. Visit recordexpress.ca today for document storage and shredding special offers. That's Record, XPRESS.ca. Record Express. Store, scan, shred Canadian.
Keeping construction and mining industries earth-moving equipment at peak performance is a big job. It takes the latest technology, insight, experience, and some incredible people. At SMS Equipment, we roll up our sleeves and get the job done. Grow your career and expertise by working with some of the world's most advanced machines and heavy equipment technologies. SMS Equipment. Big machines, bigger careers. Apply now at smsequipment.com.
This is Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Well, Pittsburgh was pressing after the Raquel goal, but Austin Matthews on a great setup from Michael Bunting has restored the 3-goal lead with just under 5 minutes to go here in the third.
Matthews, Corey is 10th of the year.
Here's Sandin with a shot, goes wide of the net. Puck comes back along the boards. It's played around Jan Ruda after it. He overskates it, has to stop in the corner to the left of the Penguins net. Now feeds it back to the goal for Dumoulin, and he'll get it right back. Ruda tried the long feed, and it's all the way through center down the ice in the Toronto zone as Sandin is on. Hands it off for Liljegren. Battle for it along the boards right in front of the Toronto bench is jammed up in the skates of Pierre Engvall.
He's only got 4:20 to do it. Longer.
Puck has a few edges on it as it finally comes out and everyone chopping at it. And now it's iced by the Maple Leafs with 4:06 to go in the third and a 4-1 Toronto lead.
Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes when you see a game develop, and there's other games that have already gone on in the National Hockey League, you know how the next morning you get that email from the NHL and they're saying, you know, comebacks dominate Saturday's schedule. So the Edmonton Oilers were down 3-0 to the New York Rangers this afternoon. Edmonton came back with 4 in the third period. So you start thinking when Pittsburgh makes it 3-1, don't let that headline tomorrow morning when you open your email be comebacks dominate Saturday's schedule.
Well, after that Raquel goal, the Penguins had a good shift.
Yes.
The following one, and that's where it looked like the pressure might start to come on from Pittsburgh, but big goal by Matthews, and now the Penguins have it in the Toronto zone as Sidney Crosby's on it in the right corner. He'll throw it back to the point for Pettersson. Off for Crosby. Crosby throws it in front. It's tipped by Raquel, and a nice white pad save made by Shalgren. Crosby after it on the left side. Quick pass around. Pettersson after it. Pettersson knocked off stride by Sandin. Now he's got it back in the right half boards. Here's Pettersson for Raquel down to one knee with his shot. That got blocked. Engvall's on it. Up ahead at center. Zach Aston Reese back against Letang one-on-one with a wrist shot. And it's steered away by Casey DeSmith. Letang will skate it out. He'll get it to center. He's forced back by Malgin. And now he's lost the puck, and he'll go after it with Malgin right on him in the corner. Good job by Dennis Malgin, knocked it free. Now it's Kemp, feeds it back to the point. Here's Hall, onto the boards for Kemp. Dropped it back for Hall. Got away from him, but Zach Aston Reese is after it. Bumped by Bluger. Letang comes up with it. Comes to the left point. Fired right back in by Giordano. Aston Reese hands it off, centering pass, got away from Kemp. Here's Giordano firing. Kicked out by DeSmith with a left pad. Giordano thought about going after it again as it was free, but Palin got to it first. And a great Giordano at center knocks away the dump attempt by Palin.
Boy, he's been incredible. 41 shots now, by the way, for the Leafs. 41-24.
Yarncroke on the bouncing puck in his own zone. He'll feed it back. Marner takes the pass. 2:16 to go in the third. And the Leafs will send it down on to Smith. He's forced to play it for Joseph.
By the way, the goal by Austin Matthews. It becomes the 7th Leaf all-time to score 200 even-strength goals.
Tavares after the puck. He's bumped by Malkin. Mete feeds it back to the net. It got away from Liljegren. Brian Rust trying to feed in front. Mete tipped it away to the line. Joseph kept it in. Liljegren held back by Rust. Puck thrown in front and cleared away by Liljegren. It'll come back to center with 1:40 to go in the third. And the Leafs up by 3, and Smith is staying in the net. Here's Zucker, centered for Rust. Pass across. Good stick by Marner. Tipped it away before Malkin had any chance at it. Petrie at the right point on it. Jeff Petrie skating it into the half boards. Worked over by Yarncroke. Now it comes back for Malkin. Off for Rust, and he shot it wide. Dumoulin at the left point. Hands it over to Petrie. Jeff Petrie, high shot. That hit a body in front. Tavares has got it. He'll clear it out off the stick of Yarncroke down the ice. It's a rolling puck, and it's slow enough that icing is waved off.
I'm surprised that I know you're down 3, but Mike Sullivan doesn't pull the goalie.
Well, I was wondering there at about the 2.5-minute mark if he might go for it, but now it's under a minute to go in the third, and Toronto up by 3. Jan Ruda in his own zone had it knocked away.
Sorry, Barts, this has not been a homer series, has it? Pittsburgh wins in Toronto a couple of weeks ago, and the Leafs look poised to win back-to-back games in Pittsburgh.
Here's a chance coming in, and a shot by McGinn is stopped by Källgren. And the Penguins, who were looking to win the season series against Toronto for the 3rd straight season that the teams have played against each other, will not happen with a Leaf victory.
There have been some tough games of late for the Leafs in this building. I believe it was the second last game for Mike Babcock before being let go. The Leafs got blown out in Pittsburgh.
Well, the Penguins had won 3 of the last 4 and have points in 9 of their last 13 home games against Toronto. 9-3-1 dating all the way back to November of 2013. But with under 30 seconds to go here, Letang will play it off the glass in his own end. Malgin will keep it deep. And now Zach Aston Reese throws it towards the net. It comes free. Here comes one last rush maybe by Ricard Raquel. In over the line. Dropped it out for Crosby. Down low. Fed back in front for Raquel. It's off his stick. Aston Reese trying to clear it out. 8 seconds to go. It comes free. Raquel fires. And Källgren has got it with 4.9 left on the clock.
And Erik Källgren looks to improve his record with a win here. Like we said, he had a tough one in overtime against the New York Islanders after giving the puck away late in regulation, lost in overtime, but looks to go to 3-2-4 on the season.
Letang can't get the puck through to the net. Here's Crosby firing. That one is stopped, and this one is over. Toronto wins it 4-1 as they outshoot Pittsburgh 41-26 in the game. And what do you know? Pontus Holmberg has the game-winning goal yet again for the Maple Leafs.
He did it in New Jersey when the Leafs held on to a 2-1 win. And we've raved about the goaltending of Matt Murray the last couple of games. Well, Erik Källgren has no letdown, and it's tougher. You're the backup goaltender. You're going to get the 3rd game in 4 nights, the 2nd on back-to-backs. And Källgren stood tall. And I still go back to the first 5 or 6 minutes of the opening period. Even though Marner had given the Leafs a 1-0 lead 40 seconds in, I thought Erik Källgren made some outstanding stops to keep Pittsburgh out of the game. And then the Leafs, the last, probably 12 minutes of the opening period, just dominated, outshot them 17-5, and were able to build a 3-0 lead into the 3rd period.
Player of the game is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is the world's favorite sportsbook with 80 million members worldwide. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. What do you have?
I mean, Källgren's a close second. And I know we gave it to Matt Murray yesterday in the 4-3 win. Källgren's a close second, but Austin Matthews, 10th goal of the year, 3-point night for Matthews. And I will say this as well, that you know that stat I gave you, that he became the 7th Leaf of all time to score 200 even strength goals. I had to look that up and get that back to you. So I'm sort of patting myself in the back that I was able to find no. Wouldn't it be great if I was that smart?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I think we both benefit from that.
When you check your memory, otherwise known as Google.
Yeah, it was our producer Armin was able to send that to me, and I only say that not to give him credit, but just in case it's wrong. Now you know who really came up with it.
Well, he did a great job tonight, and so did the Maple Leafs in a 4-1 victory. Stay tuned. The postgame show coming up next. Brent Cunning and Gord Stellick are standing by as the Leafs win it 4-1 in Pittsburgh. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. Molson Canadian, proud partner of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Celebrating Canada Soccer, presented by Access Storage. Here's Alistair Johnston telling us about Canada Soccer's men's national team.
We try to embody you. We're a hardworking group. We're a group that, has been overlooked for a long time, but we're extremely talented, extremely hardworking, and that we want to be a group that you guys can be proud to watch and feel like represent you in the best possible way.
Celebrating Canada Soccer, presented by Access Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian, cheer Canadian.
The Bay's Black Friday sale is on now, with savings of up to 60% off, including clearance. Get amazing deals on all your favorite brands, like Free People, Mango, Sorel, Blendtec, Dior fragrances, and more. Plus, new offers are dropping every day, and they only last 24 hours. So head over to your local Hudson's Bay store or thebay.com so you don't miss out. Get ahead of your holiday shopping with offers on hundreds of brands at the Bay's Black Friday sale. Exclusions and conditions apply.
Visit St. Louis Bar and Grill to experience our new Mother of All Poutines. It's 3 pounds of classic poutine deliciousness topped with our signature saucy boneless wings and garlic dill sauce. Mother Nature, not as epic as this. Mother Goose, well, this ain't kid stuff. Stacy's mom, you wish you had all this going on. Take what your mama gave you to St. Louis Bar and Grill to experience the Mother of All Poutines and all the new instant classic dishes and drinks this winter for a limited time only. St. Louis Bar and Grill, celebrating 30 devilishly good years.
1877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest receipts ever. Donate at carsforkids.ca and your car can be picked up tomorrow.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2022.
Healthy Planet's Black Friday sale is on. Now through December 7th, the entire store is up to 75% off. Healthy Planet is your essential source for high-quality vitamins, sports nutrition, and more. Save on tons of items including 6-Star Amino 30 servings, regular $29.99, now just $9.99 plus 30% off day of pizza. Healthy Planet, serving you safely in-store, curbside, and online at healthyplanetcanada.com. Live life healthy.
The world's biggest soccer tournament is back, and for the first time in decades, the Canadian men will be there. Sportsnet is your home for game day insights and day after analysis, not only for the Canadian men, but for the entire tournament. Don't miss a moment of the action. Listen for the Soccer Report right throughout the tournament. Brought to you by CertainTeed, the pro's choice for roofing, siding, drywall, insulation, and ceiling systems. CertainTeed, pro all the way.
Let our trained professionals help you come down from the high of the game here on the Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Bunting will take off. And here comes Bunting down the right side into the Penguin zone. He fell, but he slides it in front. Great play. Matthews scores! What a play by Bunting to set it up for Austin Matthews in the slot. He snaps it home past the blocker to Smith, and it's a 4-1 Toronto lead.
Michael Bunting channeling his inner Zach Hyman on that one. Hard work from Bunting, setting up the Austin Matthews goal. That's the 10th of the season for Matthews. William Nylander, Pontus Holberg, and Mitch Marner also giving the Leafs goals. 4-1 is the final in Pittsburgh. Leafs push their win streak up to 3 in a row now. Gordo, of course, there are going to be moments of pushback from the Penguins, but once again, just another rock-solid period from the Leafs and another awesome road win.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, let's say Pittsburgh made it 3-1, so they made it a little bit closer. And then after that, geez, what a great...
We'll pull back the curtain a second here. They made it 3-1 right after you commented on what the exact time you thought the game was going to end. And I thought for sure we were going to have overtime.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We kind of project how long our Leafs Nation postgame will go. And if it's overtime, it's less. Yeah. So at that point, I wasn't too worried the way they're playing.
You know me. I'm always panicky about everything regarding the Leafs.
Yeah, I kind of roll with the punches. When I was your age, I was panicky too. So it'll all come around. It'll all come around. And then
what are you talking about? We're the exact same age, Gordon.
Yeah. Okay. 3-1, and then see, my memory's gone now. Who did they play tonight? No. Anyway, then after that. What a Michael Bunting individual play, and we always kid because you were always big on Michael Bunting from the get-go. Yep. Everybody is now, but you were one of the first to jump on board the Bunting bandwagon. And holy mackerel. And then Austin Matthews, who gave 2 helpers earlier on. We were kind of kidding about he's turning into the new Mitch Marner with helpers, but he scores. It's his 10th goal. He's not having too shabby a season. It's like a 40-goal pace right now, which is some people think it's a huge slump. So just a lot of good things are happening on this road trip. They're getting depth scoring. Their better players are scoring. They're getting goaltending on an injury not depleted, an injury ravaged defense core. They don't seem to be missing anybody. Now they are missing them, but to a play like it appears, you're not missing anybody. And Giordano playing big minutes, and Rasmus Sandin playing big minutes, and Justin Hall being a stud. A lot of good things.
Yeah, a lot to pick up from tonight. I want to pick up on the Bunting play. Shocker, I'm not done talking about that. This isn't just anybody he outmuscled down the ice. It was Geno Malkin he was fighting with for a good chunk of that game. And when you look at a play like that, those are the type of plays that is why he has a place on that line. Yes, he's a smarter offensive player than I think he gets credit for. He is a more capable passer than I think he gets credit for. But the reason what he is there to do, and this is the thing that they would ask the same of Calle Yarncroke, they would ask the same of Alex Kerfoot, Nick Robertson, if he got a look on that line. You have to be able to dig out pucks and find a way to kind of make some space for these other guys. And it was just kind of that was the exact personification of what you need to do to be successful alongside, be it Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner or Matthews and Nylander like he was tonight.
Yeah, and Mike Babcock always said that because it was funny. People's initial, why Zach Hyman on that line? Mm-hmm. And then Zach Hyman started getting offensive statistics commensurate with the big boys, but Mike Babcock just said, go back to Detroit, and Zetterberg, Datsuk, whatever. I need someone who digs on this line. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what Bunting does, as well as kind of like Zach Hyman getting his offensive points as well. And I know he'd been a little bit quiet. He hadn't been on that line all the time. They're trying different things. So tonight, he really, that's just such a great play. And, again, that's what they're doing on this road trip. They've had some games, they've blown leads. We've seen them, goals scored late to tie a game, then lose in overtime, and, on and on and on that way. And this is, right now, they just have this kind of eerie calm about the way they're able to play. And it's something you hope we see in games number 83, 84, 85, and onwards for sure. But it's just been a fun, impressive, and Leaf fans sitting back just enjoying it. And I don't know what it means in the playoffs or not, but it can't mean bad things. You're trying to take every little positive sign about, will it help you in the playoffs? Will it help them as a team in the playoffs avoid all those disappointments? You got to think it probably does.
Yeah, the other thing, and just to pick up on what you're talking about there, is that this team in the past has been guilty, and this isn't just a last year thing. This is over the last 3 or 4 seasons with this group of, once things are going easy, they sit back and they take their foot off the gas a little bit. And I think just such a strong part of the fact that they haven't been able to do that. Tonight you have Shalgren between the pipes. You have 3D that aren't supposed to be in the lineup playing on any given night. You don't have the option to take your foot off the gas at all. And it feels like it forces this work ethic out of this team that I think we've always been looking for. And we have seen through long stretches from this group, but we've also seen stretches that look the other way. So I'm with you. It's really encouraging to see. And just in conversations, talking with people about the team, that is the thing that keeps jumping out in the conversations happens is, yes, the goaltending. We talk about Matt Murray, and tonight Källgren was very good, but so much of it just comes back to, it's really nice just to see everybody in the lineup just working.
No, it really is. And that 4-game, well, there was a 5-game road trip, but the last 4 games of that road trip.
Remember in Winnipeg, it was so fun.
Well, yeah, the first of the 5 games and then the next 4. And, Brent, that's what happened in Montreal and Columbus. And I hate to keep bringing that up.
But it matters.
But yeah, like you kind of, it wasn't just that you lost the games. And I think a couple of years ago, when Tampa Bay won one of their Stanley Cups, maybe it must have been the second, but they got off to a not a good start. But John Cooper said, actually, we're playing pretty well, so I'm okay. Like a coach interprets it, and every now and then that, sometimes, you're playing okay, you're just not getting the W's for whatever reason. This wasn't that.
No,
that was horrible.
No, this was very, very nice to see. Somebody else who, we talked about him a little bit in the first and second intermission, but we have to talk about him here. He got the big fancy hockey night interview. He won't be our player of the game. We're at 3 stars. He'll be one of them. Mitch Marner. I see a play like that from Bunting, and I feel like, who else could drive the team from Bunting? But all kidding aside, Marner's been amazing. He's been tremendous. And I go back to, yes, very nice that he scores the goal. You get given a gift like that, a player that offensively talented is going to take advantage. But much like we were saying about the rest of the team, the play that jumps out to me is, his hard work digging a puck out and setting up Pontus Holberg. And it's just a guy who is always in the mix and everything. And, Babcock always talked about him, the winger that could drive a line. And, we get carried away with who the best player in hockey is. And I'm not saying Mitch Marner's that guy right now. I don't know that anybody's had a better 2 weeks than he has. He's been incredible lately.
Yeah, no, agree. And it's, getting that goal 40 seconds in the game, bad line change by the Pittsburgh Penguins. And again, another one that should have been a goal blown because referee Kelly Sutherland couldn't see the puck. And that's
very fortunate there.
And that's the kind of fortunate breaks the Leafs are getting when you're on a win streak. You get those. And they got more of those tonight as well, but more it was their effort and their abilities. And again, I'll say it again because I don't know. I think I said it pregame. Yeah, when it was their keys to victory. I did bring up Mitch Marner. His consecutive point of game streak is extended. And I just mentioned, Luke Fox, our good friend, joins us quite a bit. Sportsnet.ca, who he writes for. And his columns are good. He's got some good observations today. And he brought up how great Marner's playing. And again, it included, I argue or debate this with Luke about, Marner getting the criticism and boos and wrath of the fans. And I keep going, why do we keep saying that's not the way it is? That was the way it was after the Columbus series. I keep saying it because I'm tired of reading that.
Yep.
Because who could possibly take issue with the way Mitch Marner is playing? He's a first-team All-Star twice. You cherish it. We're fortunate to have it. I don't know anyone that says anything, but those playoffs, okay? And that's where, see, the point is they got to learn about moving forward from that instead of saying, oh, my God, can you believe the criticism? Yes, I can believe the criticism he and all the team endured in that and deserved for that. Move on, okay? It's not like that, because anyway, I don't know. It just kind of is the poor Mitch part about that. I go, no, come on. He's beloved. Why would you not?
So I think what it is with Marner, and I mostly agree with what you're saying. I think what it is that Tavares has never shown an emotion on the ice. Like he scores goals and doesn't even smile. So he is not doing this at all. But Nylander, fairly stoic. Like he doesn't get that fired up one way or another. Matthews, we see him get angry, but when you see him upset, more times than not, it's the Ben Schroth thing where he's laughing it off. Marner's just the one who wears it the most. And when it's going bad in the playoffs and we think to the puck over the glass and all that, you see it on his face and the cameras are trained on him. He's the guy who wears it the most. So I think that's sometimes why it feels like people are the hardest on him. But I'm with you. They don't. There's no world where John Tavares and his $11 million contract. How many times we talked about that? Or Austin Matthews don't eat the criticism. I mean, Austin Matthews had 10 goals this year, and all we talk about is how he's not playing very well. So the other guys wear the criticism. I'm very much there with you. In terms of the defense tonight, Rasmus Sandin, career high and team leading 23 minutes for the Leafs. Now again, this is all circumstantial in terms of all the guys that are out, but this is the benefit to this group right now. The fact they're able to win while seeing what they have is obviously a huge boon for them. But they're, I've kind of thrown this out as a sink or swim time for Rasmus Sandin. I don't think he's going to sink, but it's just a matter of kind of how fast he can swim and just how deep the pool can get for him.
And Sheldon Keefe mentioned, I guess post game yesterday, that he goes, who would ever think Rasmus Sandin would be out there when the other team's goaltenders pulled, right? I mean, it wasn't the ticket for this year with all these injuries. And yesterday he did great till he gave the horrible giveaway with seconds left, and Matt Murray bailed him on that. But yeah, and getting the opportunity and seizing the opportunity. I mean, everyone always they clamor like, I want the opportunity. I want the opportunity, whether it's to get called up from the American League to play or, start getting more time. And usually or quite often injury is a big part of the attrition that gets you the chance. Well, you got to seize it. And he's one of many. I mean, they still haven't put Connor Timmins in the lineup. So I wonder what he's on the depth chart when everyone comes back. But anyway, they've added some bodies and they didn't rush him in.
So just looking at the Leafs ice time tonight, Sandin, 23 minutes. Timothy Liljegren follows him up at 22. Giordano, Hall, they're all right around in the same there. And then Victor Mete, he played 15-24, and then all the way at the bottom of that, 11-30. And that's Mac Hollowell there. And that's not a knock on him as a player. It's just, it's not a guy who's supposed to be here yet. So seeing that vast discrepancy between, it's also not lost on me that Mac Holloway plays the right side, as does Connor Timmins. So I don't know when they'll feel he's up to speed or ready to go or whatever it is, but whenever that is, I imagine they'd be looking for him to take the place. And again, I don't think they see this as some huge failure on Hollowell's place. It's just a matter of fact that if you trust him that much less than a guy like Victor Mete, who again, I don't want to sit here and hammer, but he's a 7th or 8th defenseman on this team. And if you trust him 4 minutes less than that, I imagine they're itching to get Timmins in whenever he's ready.
And, keep in mind, when you get to the playoffs, and this should add to their depth, the experience these guys are getting. But I still think of the Chicago Blackhawks, the one Stanley Cup, they won mostly, it seemed, with 3 defensemen, and they'd sneak Kimmo Timonen on. Yeah. So if it was an offensive zone face-off, he'd be out, and he'd get a good 30-second shift every now and get off. Now, I know there were others, I'm stretching the truth a little bit, but, when it comes to the playoffs, with the number of games off and the less travel involved and whatever, and being all or nothing, quite often that'll end up being the case. And that was kind of like that tonight. The game was never out of hand in control, so things are going well, so he gets exposed, and you get to bring Hollowell this opportunity that again, you talk about Sandin being out there when the goaltender's pulled, Hollowell being up in the NHL and the 20-game mark was never something that would have crossed their mind.
No, it wouldn't have. It's funny. My kind of introduction to Mac Hollowell is I remember they had this like quarantine house during the beginning of COVID, and I was seeing, it's like, okay, Austin Matthews is hanging out with William Nylander and Joe Thornton. Yeah, that all makes sense. Who's this kid? I remember thinking, like, he must be the chosen one. How good must this kid be if he gets to hang out with all of them? Apparently, he just had to quarantine. So, but it's nice to see him up here. And to your point, whether it's throughout a playoff run, throughout a season, consider yourself lucky if you only need to use 8 defensemen. That's a gift so far. And the Leafs obviously have had to go a lot deeper than that. And the other part of this is Hollowell not a part of the long-term plans this year by any means. He's still part of the plans going forward. Not to say he is a for sure guy who will be in your top 6, but they'd like him to be in a couple of years' time. So you just hope this little bit of seasoning can only kind of help him down the road.
And he had a couple of battles with Jenny Malkin. Look, if Jenny goes for fresh meat, particularly when it's not large in size, let's test it out a little bit. And he did well. Again, there is a bit of a prejudice against shorter defensemen. It's kind of a show me thing, and there are smaller sized defensemen that do show me. And anyway, we'll see we'll see how it turns out. Right now, when you're winning, everything is great. No one's going to, Kasperi Kaskisuo, you think about that game and goal he had against the Penguins, and he actually tweeted it the other day, kind of a fun thing. He played one partial game in Nashville, and that was the extent of his NHL career. And so you're not getting that for any of the new individuals coming up playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
No, you're not, man. There might arguably in the history of sports never been anyone fed to the Wolves quite like Kasperi Kaskisuo was that night. Gino Malkin from the hash marks slap shot, first shot he faced of the game. Boy, and that was minutes in. Not fun at all. We don't need to talk about that because tonight it was the Leafs doing that. And to your point about, you didn't quite get running away with the lead. It did feel like there was a moment there after the Nylander goal to make it 3-0. You're saying, and again, I think it is so much more important for this team to go win 3-0 as opposed to go winning a 7-2 game where they really put the pressure on. But it would have been nice to kind of alleviate some things, especially on the back half of a back-to-back, getting a guy like Hollowell a little bit more time. Somebody who drew back in the lineup tonight, Dennis Malgin, I don't want to make too much out of a night for him, but I think he's just kind of proving, much like with the defense, you need to have different bodies. And, Simmer drew in the other night. Obviously, you're going to see Robertson get in here and there, but it just felt like that bottom 6 mix is starting to make a little bit more sense. You know, we know Kampf, Aston Reese, and Malgin, they've been pretty good together, but now you throw Holmberg in, and that third line just seems to have a little more connectivity to, I mean, easy to say when he scores, I know, but it was Marner who set him up. It just seems like that bottom six just has a nice little mix going right now.
And, you know, it's funny, chatting with Frankie Corrado earlier this week, doing a really good job on the media side. He's with the wrong network, but anyway, that's okay. I'm kidding about that. But but he talked about that year, Free Frankie campaign.
That's right, I remember.
Up, and Mike Babcock kind of said, "Hey, what's the problem? He's making NHL money and blah." And so I asked him about that, you know, being a healthy scratch all the time, and how much you learned, and what the positives, what the negatives. And he goes, the only positive was getting that paycheck. Yeah. And he goes, every 2 weeks my paycheck was this compared to my minor league salary. But beyond that, nothing was good. They can say all they want. And that's one reason I don't mind. I like, you know, not, okay, we lost. We're going to switch 3 guys out, 3, and, we won. We're going to stick. No, I like, you know, everyone's got a different spice. They add to it. Everyone's a part of it. It's something Craig Berube did really well in the playoffs with the St. Louis Blues. I think it was about 15 forwards they had. And just all of a sudden, a guy would play that game and have a positive impact, and then maybe be out about 3 more and go in another. Like, there just was this kind of sixth sense. What again? I'll use that spice. What we need to put in the soup.
Yeah, and you know, it's that you look at what they did in the Minnesota game. You throw Wayne Simmons in there, and obviously this Pittsburgh game, much more of a skilly game than it is against a Wild team. So you get Malgin back in. Maybe it would have made sense for Robertson tonight, but the fact that they played as well as they did, I'm not going to complain. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. We will endeavor to track down Leafs head coach Sheldon Keefe, and by that I mean we'll just eavesdrop on his media conference whenever it should happen. We have a ton to break down here. Also, got to give you our 3 stars of the game. Take a little look around the NHL at large as well. Leafs are 4-1 winners on the road in Pittsburgh. Marner, Holmberg, Nylander, and Matthews are your goal scorers. Eric Källgren picks up the win. Brent Gunning and Gord Stellick will continue with Leafs Nation postgame next on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Hugh Heron from Heathwood Homes. I want to talk to you about our great country, Canada. It's a land of opportunity and a place I call home. For 50 years, Heathwood has been committed to building each home with the very best new technologies, ensuring that your home will be more energy efficient and sustainable than ever. Visit our communities at heathwood.com. At Heathwood, you will be home at last.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
I'm Jamie. As an elementary school teacher in Ontario, I've seen the impacts of the pandemic on student achievement and well-being. Students need real government action and investment to recover and succeed. They need a learning recovery plan that provides the focused and individual attention they deserve. As a teacher, I know what my students need to succeed. Learn what's happening in Ontario classrooms. Visit knowmore.ca. That's knowmore.ca. A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Time for a little hockey talkie. This is Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Letang can't get the puck through to the net. It is Crosby firing. That one is stopped, and this one is over. Toronto wins it 4-1 as they outshoot Pittsburgh 41-26.
A clinical win for the Leafs on the road in Pittsburgh. Exactly what Sheldon Keefe would have liked if he could draw it up. And I mean, even including Austin Matthews getting a 5-on-5 goal, you get a little depth scoring. Your big boys are feeling good. Yeah, actually, the more I think about this is kind of exactly now, you know, he'd like the shutout. He'd like more goals, I'm sure, of course. But the fact that all your big boys are feeling good about yourself, Tavares, the only one who doesn't get on the score sheet. You get a nice hard-working goal by Matthews, and it's Bunting's hard work there. You get the depth scoring from Holmberg. Pittsburgh. Your D doesn't have any glaring, like even the goal that ends up going in there, it's a bit of a bad cover by Pierre Engvall and Victor Mete there, but that's kind of a bad bounce, and these things happen. So, as far as from Sheldon Keefe's perspective, and we'll hope to hear from him in a couple of minutes here, I feel like you pretty much checked every box you could have possibly asked for.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's funny because when you're winning, when you're losing, the coach comes out and there's a lot more meatier stuff.
Yes.
When you're winning, it's
thought he was good. Yeah,
everything's going great.
Yes.
Thought he was great, but just he's got to be really, really pleased as a coach. And people put too much emphasis on coaches and that when you lose, and maybe do a bit when you win, but got to give credit, whatever it is. He's the jockey, and they're atop a really good ride right now.
Yeah, and the point I keep making is, and look, there's no such thing as an easy team to coach in the NHL, but this Leafs team, the way it is constructed, just with how high, with all the high value forwards at the top of the lineup, his hands are kind of tied in terms of, he's not pumping John Tavares to the third line. We know they tried this at times with Nylander, and I don't say his hands were tied and that it's a bad thing. I think a lot of coaches would love to have the offensive talent that he has, but there's just such a finicky way he has to kind of put this lineup together. And I've been, and it's a double-edged sword. At times you say Keefe got the blender out and nothing was working and things seem disjointed, but it seems like he just has the kind of right mix going right now. And like you said, credit of course should go to the players first and foremost. They're the ones playing, but you do need a guy to put you in a good position to succeed. You'd brought up Connor Timmins. He's I'm not going to say the big acquisition. They gave up a big guy for him in Curtis Douglas. Is 6'7", 6'9", I think he is. In terms there, we have Sheldon Keefe standing by. So here is the Leafs head coach.
Guys just continue to play the way they have been, and I thought even maybe took it up a notch here today in terms of foot races and winning puck battles, and I thought we broke out of our zone really well here tonight, which I thought was a real key to the game and has been for a while now, but I thought we did that maybe as good as we have. Guys are just staying with it. I think there's a lot of belief in the room. We've been trying to foster that here for quite some time, and I think we have that happening, and that gives you a chance to win every night.
Scoring first is always important, but you've been doing it a lot lately. How do you feel about that? How important is it?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously you don't quite expect to score in the first shift, but we talked about how the recipe for us here of late has been to get off to good starts and control the game, and sort of the way the game went last time we were in here. And that's the way it's been really on this trip. So that's set us up for success for sure. You don't want to talk about it too much in case it doesn't go your way, because it's not the end of the world, but it certainly sets you up for success, especially on the road.
Sheldon Marner's almost always in a groove, but is there anything different about this run that he's on right now?
I wouldn't say so, except to me, clearly he's found his game. He's, in all regards, he's just been a difference maker for us. And you look at, he scores a big-time goal tonight, but you look at his assist again on the Holmberg goal. It's not unlike his assist that he got in New Jersey on Tavares' goal, just winning battles and stripping defenders of the puck and then making a play to the most dangerous area on the ice. And, just the way he defends. And he's talking on the bench. He's just really leading the way for us there.
I described getting an opportunity at Rasmussen and Timothy playing bigger role. Have you liked what you've seen of them in the last week or so?
Yeah, for sure. We talked about it a lot this morning about how they're, in one way or another, they're going to grow through this experience. And I thought those guys today were excellent, maybe as good as they've been on this trip. And to do it on a back-to-back against an opponent like this, there's some real challenging matchups there for them. I thought they were really good. You can see them growing here through this, so it's really nice to see.
Can you describe the effort Bunting makes before setting up Matthews there?
Incredible. It's just, you're not expecting it necessarily to finish in a goal like that, but our guys on the bench are already excited for the effort just in front of our bench to win that race, win the battle, and then the pace that he had onto the puck to get it into the offensive zone to begin with. But then they just stay on it, stay hungry, brings all sorts of attention to him, and Austin finds a quiet area in the rink, and Bunce finds them, Austin finishes it, which was great to see as well, because I think Austin has been playing some really good hockey for us and has really helped lead the way for us defensively and with a lot of things he's been doing and, getting some assists and things like that. But to get the goal is a very fitting end to the night for us here today.
What would you say about how Pontus Holmberg has transitioned what seems like seamlessly at the NHL level in a short period of time?
To be honest, it's not overly surprising. I mean, we're talking about him here now because he scored 2 goals on this trip. But what stands out to me is, I think that's his 8th game here tonight, and I can't find this guy making a mistake. Through 8 games, you want to talk to him as a young guy, and there's things you want to talk to him about and show him, and you're expecting mistakes and corrections, and this guy doesn't make mistakes. He's incredibly smart. Defensively, he's always in the right spot. Doesn't even have a full grasp of the language here yet, or the league. Yet he's picking up our system and our structure and the things we're asking him to do. He's near perfect. So it's great to see him get rewarded for the offense, or before that with offense. But to me, he's a guy that makes you feel good about putting him on the ice, because he's gonna do what you're asking of him, and it's going to make it hard on whoever he's playing against.
It's a bit of a physical side to him, too. He's always right in guys' faces.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a guy that's going to drive anybody through the wall or anything like that, but he's like that's part of what he does defensively. Like, he gets right into it, closes space very well. That's a lot of what we've been talking about with helping to slow people down. He gets right into your jersey and gets in your way, and he's a strong guy. He's over 200 pounds. He doesn't have experience in the NHL or much here in North America, but he's played pro for a while now. I think he's at 24 years old or something like that, and you look at his pedigree, like, he's a guy he's won a championship. He's been a playoff MVP in the Swedish Elite League. And to me, right from day one of rookie tournament out in Traverse City, he looked like a guy that was going to help us this year.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
There is Leafs head coach Sheldon Keefe. Obviously, a lot to take out of that. I just like this, and I'm going to paraphrase just a little slightly on Pontus Holmberg. The guy doesn't make mistakes. He's been near perfect. So as far as praise goes from a coach, that's pretty good. I think we'd all like to hear our boss say that about us, eh, Gord?
It's, the antithesis of what you hear about Nick Robertson. Yep. Interesting. So whatever Nick Robertson's not doing, Pontus Holmberg is really a pet of the coach, but he explains why. And now he said he's getting some offense, which is a bonus. The other things, he's just been real smart.
I like him.
Good stuff.
Hey, man, you got David Kampf and him as the centers in the bottom of your lineup. There are centers that will give you more offense. There are. But in terms of responsibility, those two are definitely for it. That is Gord Stellick. I'm Brent Gunning. We'll continue to wrap this game up. Leafs pick up a 4-1 win on the road in Pittsburgh, including a big night from Austin Matthews. 3 points in total, including his 10th goal of the season. We'll be back to take a look around the NHL at large and give you our 3 stars of the night. It's Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hi, it's Fido. Are you ready for Black Friday deals? Because we got some incredible offers on select phones and plans, so you can score your favorites at their most affordable. Select plans even include data overage protection, so you can be data confident. Wait, is that true?
Yeah. Where are you going?
I'm going to Fido to get a Black Friday deal.
Can you finish the ad first?
Go to Fido.ca or a Fido store now. Fido, at your side.
And next on the tour, if you look on your right, you'll see, oh my, a half-naked man in a high-visibility vest doing lunges in the snow. What a shame we can see him from here, folks. But you gotta admit, it's an effective high-vis vest.
Force Field Protective Clothing asks that you use their high-visibility work gear responsibly. Force Field Protective Clothing, safety apparel engineered for Canada. The store-wide Black Friday sale is on now till Monday. Visit HIVISsafety.ca.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Hi, I'm looking to upgrade my kitchen.
Bathroom, Mom. We need an extra bathroom.
Emily, hang up.
Ugh, this is so unfair.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
I need a loan for some home renos.
Well, do you own your home?
Of course. I'm the owner.
Then you're approved. Enjoy your new kitchen.
Bathroom!
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
FSRA license 12616. Ugh.
Right now at tsc.ca, shop Black Friday and Cyber Monday offers.
Get up to 70% off your favorite items during our biggest sale of the year. And enjoy flexible, interest-free easy pay payments on amazing products. Shop now and save on the brands we love, like Dyson, Apple, KitchenAid, Breville, and more. With Black Friday and Cyber Monday offers at tsc.ca. Today's shopping choice.
Blue and white at night. This is Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick here with you, basking in the afterglow of a 4-1 Leafs win. Those are not your slightly older brothers, Pittsburgh Penguins. A little bit of a different team, same cast of characters, but there is a lot of miles on those bodies. The Leafs definitely looked like the younger and sprier team tonight. Gordo, I mean, you know, we're sitting here, we're doing our 3 stars that we always like to give you. It is time for the Molson 3 stars. Molson 3 stars brought to you by Molson Canadian, and not an easy night tonight. You know, there were a couple that you had to put in there, but when I'm looking at the 3rd star, who was Eric Källgren, we'll start there. I could have picked any number of players. I could have picked our stalwart, Justin Hall. One day we'll eventually have to actually put him in here as opposed to just giving him honorable mention. You know, Pontus Holmberg, he gets the goal. He could have gone in there, but we'll go Källgren, 3rd star, Austin Matthews, 2nd star, Mitch Marner, 1st star there tonight.
Yeah, well, you heard, we talked about Pontus Holmberg, which is, you know, kind of enlightening his play, the opportunity he's getting, and then you hear how much Coach Sheldon Keefe thinks of him. So that's the way the post game was. But yeah, geez, that was a great party. That was a great party. That was great. That was great. I mean, what, you know, it really was. There's not a lot of negativity to talk about, and it was the star players that did it. I just thought in Källgren's case, I know Leafs outshot Penguins considerably, but in the first period when he had to make some big saves, he did make them. After that, he got fortunate. One goal that should have been in. The referee blew the whistle too early, but, you know, easily did whatever it took to win.
And the one he got beat on, I mean, you know, Ricard Raquel is not Austin Matthews, but that's a shooter from a shooter's spot, and it was a great shot. And would you like him to have it? Sure you would, but you're not going to kill him for it, especially given the game. And yeah, I think so often what has been the case with Leafs backups throughout the years has been the backbreaker early or late, and that has been the thing. Now I know he's had a couple of them, be it the giveaway he gave a couple games ago, but he has avoided that big mistake of the either backbreaker really early in the game, and we've seen that many times with this team in the past, or giving up the bad one late, and that's just his composure. That's the thing that kind of allows me to feel the most comfortable about him.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and. Yeah, whether it's Ilya Samsonov, Eric Källgren, Matt Murray, there was a game or 2 or 3 and it was more about Murray's health and whatever, but then Samsonov kind of calmed the waters. Yep. And anyway, we move forward. And star number 2, Austin Matthews, and he's reversing roles with Mitch Marner in a way it seemed early on that he got 2 assists on the first 3 goals, that he's the guy setting up those. And then it was just nice. He couldn't get set up any better by Michael Bunting. And Austin Matthews, like, the goals are down, and there was a couple plays we're watching. We're just saying, okay, I know all the stats are there, and he's playing really well, but just about getting those blue chip scoring opportunities, yeah, they don't seem as plentiful as they did after 20 games last year, but up to 10 goals now, and as we mentioned, that's about a 40-goal clip.
Well, and I think the thing about him is it has to feel really good to not get a tip, not get a rebound, but just to be standing there and shoot one in the net. And that's what he's here to do. And look, you don't score 60 without getting a ton of tips and greasy goals and everything. But we think of, this wasn't the patented curl and drag, right beneath the bar, but that was just a guy standing dead in the slot and shot it right past a goalie. And I think as far as confidence goes, not that he's struggling with that. If you see all the stuff the Leafs put out about him walking into the rink every day, this is not a man who lacks confidence. But if there was any element of it, nice to see him get on the board in that regard. And then Marner, we've talked about him already a ton today, but just another incredibly impressive night. 16-game point streak now, 2 away from the club record. Do you think he gets it? If he does, he will tie it when we're at the barn Saturday or Wednesday night against the Sharks.
In Detroit Monday, against San Jose Wednesday. So, you think those are the kind of teams, the way they're playing. I'll say yes, because it's,
why not? Why not say yes?
And he's just playing that great Mitch Marner hockey. It's like all those guys. It's a more complete game each year you get. It's not just the 2 rushes that have you lift you from your seat that he used to get every game. He gets maybe he doesn't even get 2 rushes anymore. He just seems to always have a real knack about the puck and a knack where he is. But again, the NHL 3 stars of the week come out Monday. I say I don't find it a big deal, but then I guess it's kind of a publicity shtick kind of thing. But if you're one of the 3 stars, it means you're deemed one of the 3 best players in the NHL the previous week. And I would say Mitch Marner has an excellent chance of being one of them.
Yeah, I would as well, and I'm with you. I think he gets it done. I think he gets to 18, and again, if he does that, that'll be our next game. That's Wednesday at home against the Sharks. We got to take a look at the NHL scores. Going to do that when we continue here. Brent Gunning, Gord Stellick, Leafs picking up a 4-1 win over the Penguins. It is their 3rd straight W. After this, they're on the road in Detroit before heading home on Wednesday for a date with the Sharks. We'll be back to continue to wrap this up. It's Leafs Nation postgame on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
What the world needs now is more than a vacation. We need to come back to feeling our best selves again. Back to inviting. Back to loving. Back to life. Back to the little bit of Jamaica that's inside all of us. Come back to being lively again. Back to laid back. So call your travel agent or go to visitjamaica.com and come back to the vibe that comes alive in Jamaica.
It's time to